Okay. Oh, I forgot to go live on YouTube. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Hi, Entity. How are you, cutie? How's your night? Welcome in. Welcome in. Heart attack averted. Heart attack averted. Did you eat today? I did. I actually ate about an hour ago, so it hasn't been long. And I had chicken, and I had a kale salad with sun-dried tomatoes. Ivan! Hi, Ivan. How are you? Hi, Albert. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. It is so freaking hot today. Oh my guys. Okay, let me let me just really quick. Okay, let me just and let's go ahead. Let's switch on over. So I could say hi to you guys, to your faces. Hi. Let's see. How hot is it today? Let's see. I want to take a look. Okay, so it was 95 today. Like that was the highest it was today. In Fahrenheit and Celsius, it was 35. So it was really hot. Hi, Bottoms. Welcome in. Rah! Hi, kitty. Proud of you. Thanks, Dad. Let me actually fix this really quick with TCG. A bit higher on that. There we go. Much better. Streak for you. Thank you for the 25 stream streak. Thank you. Ew, that's kind of hot. I don't like that. Right? It is right now. It's only a brisk 78. It's only a brisk 78 right now. But earlier today, oh my god, it was so hot. It's been hot all day today. I'm doing good. Excited for more Frankenstein. Me too. Oh my gosh, I'm actually really. So I actually went on to Google, mostly because. Let me see. I was so interested in what other artists viewed when they were reading Frankenstein, what they thought the monster looked like based off of what the author Mary Shelley, what she put, right, as the artists, like not the artist, what's the word I'm trying to think of, as the God, I can't think of words. I was interested to see what like artists' depiction of the monster looked like, because he's supposed to be like really tall, his skin very tight on his skin, like on his body, right? He's supposed to be handsome, long, luscious black hair, watery, like sunken eyes, and thin black lips, but with white teeth. And I found this artist who did such a good job kind of making the characters look like what I thought they would kind of look like. And I was like, damn, that looks really good. Why is this not doing what I wanted? Fuck you. Eat my cannoli. Do what I'm trying to. Thank you. Okay. But look at this. Look, isn't that kind of like more or less what we were imagining? That's so cool, right? The artist. Okay, I believe so. This person posted it on Twitter, right? Their names is Cybercorpse on Twitter. Vtuber_3. I have not looked at any of their other art pieces that they have done, but this is one that they did for Frankenstein. So this is right, obviously right here, this is Frankenstein, this is the monster. Do not get them confused. They are two separate entities, right? So this is Frankenstein's creation. The only name that he goes by in the book is they call him monster, they call him creation, they call him demon, but they don't actually name the monster anything in particular, right? And then this is Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the scientist who created the monster, not the monster themselves. Though some would argue that Frankenstein in and of himself is a monster because he's kind of not a good person. But I'll grab the link. I did put it in my Discord, but if you guys want the link, I'll throw it right here into the chat as well if you guys want to take a look at it. There it is. That's cool, Lore, right? And I was just like, that is such a beautiful art piece, and I could really see it as being like, yes, this is Frankenstein's monster, right? This is the monster of Frankenstein. But let me catch up on chat a little bit. Hold on. I missed a bunch of things. Have a great day. I had a good day, Cactus. What about you, Toby? Thank you so much for the follow as well. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Daddy Does. I need autumn to start yesterday. Oh, brother. Me too. Me too. I'm doing good. Excited for more Frankenstein. Really quick, Ivan, I follow you, right? Yeah, Ivan, what days do you stream? You stream, right? What days do you stream? Because I feel like every day I look and I'm just like, what time does this guy stream? Like, I have no idea. Have a great day. I did. Same. That's so cool, right? It would be interesting. Hi, Yoda. Welcome in. I see. I saw you have stuff #not post on Twitter and realized that I might be boring. Oh yeah, you like that tweet? I need to respond to all those tweets. I was so busy today. You guys might have gotten a message in my Discord with the rules. Under the rules, I redid some of the rules. I added just a couple little things. Mostly to be like, if you get a DM, don't click on any links, because there is a rule in my Discord that you cannot message anybody without that person's permission first. And I added another rule about IRL photos. IRL photos, I'm okay with them if you want to include your own face. Granted, still no nudity photos, please. No nudity photos. We do have an NSFW place, but we're still saying no photos of yourself in the nude, please. Even if it's a tasteful thing, don't do it. Showing off your outfit, that's fine. Just make sure you're covered and you're not like wearing only a towel, obviously, granted. You guys know what I mean. And I'm just like, you know what? If you want to take a picture of like your haircut and your face is in the picture and you want to do that, that's fine. But make sure there's nobody else in the picture besides yourself, right? Because you can choose to put your own face out there, but do not put other people's faces out there. Always love the Frankenstein story. I'm actually really enjoying it so far. So I agree with you, QB. He's not a good person because he's great. He is not a great person either. Hi, Fang. Welcome in. Hi, Spencer. I sadly couldn't see live action Moana today. What happened? Why? I have an emoji I want to put in here, but I feel sad to even put it in here. Well, then you don't have to, Apex. I stream every day except for Wednesdays. Okay, what times? Because I'm following you, and I have yet to get a notification that you're going live. What times do you stream, Ivan? What is your time zone? So I can know, like, at least mentally in my head. Hi, Tav. Welcome in. Liquid. Hi, Liquid. Hi. Nothing much. Decided to play Nightmare Mode on video game. Frustrated mainly because my internet decided to act goofy in the middle. Oh, that's always the worst. Especially, like, whenever I'm playing, Oh, no wonder it feels like my fan's not on me. It's because I'm not. Hold on. Let me adjust my fan. I was like, do I need to put it higher? No, I just need to adjust it. Okay, much better. Oh, I could feel it now. I could feel it on my bones. Not my bones. Not my bones. My dad's car has a problem too. We're gonna wait till the car is fixed to go. That's fair. That's fair. That definitely takes precedence. Selfies, own self, and nothing frisky, even in the SFW channel. Got it. Yes, basically, that's basically the new rule. I mean, we've kind of already had that like going, but I kind of felt like one of my moderators brought it up. They're just like, should we actually like say that in the rules? Just be like, physically, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, you know what? Yes, we probably should. Because I feel like if we don't, people are going to take advantage. Even like unwillingly or knowingly taking advantage, right? Like it would be done without the idea that they're doing it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, but if we make it a rule, then nobody can really throw up a stink. You know, hi Panoy, welcome in. How are you, baby cakes? Hi. Give you a kiss on the cheek because you're too pretty not to be. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Full Bookie. Hi, cutie. How are you? Void says, sucks is that my headphones need to charge. Deafened a little bit. No. I could have clipped that. Sorry, I could have what's the word? I kept going, but I decided not to. I'm so sorry, boy. That sucks. You're late. It's true. He's late. And Central and I usually stream around noon, except for Thursday, Friday. Thank you for taking up my rope. It's actually getting really hot. Thursday and Friday, where I stream first thing in the morning at 9:30. Oh my god, that's so early for me. You're like streaming when I'm laying down to go to bed. On a brighter note, it gives me a chance to watch the animated Mona. This is true. This is true. Hi, Wrath. Welcome in, Pablo. How are you? Been here. Thank you for the clip. Jeez, why is such a long no? Because I wanted to. Atra! Hi, Atra. How are you, baby cakes? How's your night? Hi, Atra. We love you, Atra. Gonna miss. I listen to the background. Have a good stream. Thank you so much for booking. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your night. Considered decag? Oh, hell no. Decag? What's decag? Oh, decaf. I did the clip work. So the clips, the clips will be made. I mentioned this yesterday. The clips are being made. If you guys go to my channel and you take a look, you will see that the clips are being made. However, to avoid a lot of, what's the word? Like noise, bot noise in the Discord, sorry, not the Discord, bot noise in the chat, it doesn't post the clip. I know people are kind of used to that it'll be like, here's the clip that you just made. But to prevent there being a lot of spam in the chat from the clips being made, I don't have them posting. They are being like they are made. I could see them being made. I get notifications be like clip was made. Duplicates aren't too big of a deal, right? Because then I can always go back and adjust them. But more so that there's no like spam or noise of like the bot doing. Like, because I saw that Pinoy and Fend both did exclamation point clip, right? So instead of there being 2 clips from the bot dropping them into the chat, they're still being made, and then I can go through and be like, which one did the, you know, it had the best version of that, you know what I mean? So it keeps the chat cleaner, so I could see what you guys are saying more so than what the bot is doing, you know what I mean? Because to me, a bot should not clog up my chat. Do you know Kimuki? Hope your night is going well. It's going good. It is hot as heck though. Hopefully you're not too warm, Atra. I know where you are. It's pretty hot for this time of year for you guys. So hopefully you're not too hot. No, wait, Tuesday? Yes? Tuesday? Hi Mario, welcome in. Hi Ryuk, how are you? Michael! Hi Michael. I caved and bought all the White Fox summer stuff. Did you? But you purchased it? Or, well, technically you do purchase it because you have to pop the balloons. Nothing quite like a relaxing morning with such a wonderful... Hi Ellie! Good morning. Good morning. How'd you sleep? You have a good sleep? Have a good rest? I actually slept pretty dang well. I received a new nightgown from Kaiser, so I washed it and I wore it last night. It was very comfortable. Let me just say that. it was super hecking comfortable. I came over here. Twitch was letting you message? You mean Twitch wasn't letting you message, Kiwi? Is that what you mean? Give you some of what? True, darling. Hi, darling. Can't stay, but I wanted to pop in and say, hey, have a great stream. Don't forget to take care of yourself, baby. Bye. Thank you so much for coming in. El Nino is doing its thing, apparently. We're getting smoke from wildfires. That's concerning. Yeah, it wasn't letting me. Oh, that's what you mean. I'm sorry, Kiwi. I don't know why it wasn't letting you. Maybe you were typing too fast? I hate the heat and I'm a sweaty man, so it is what it is. Honestly, fair. Yeah, it's been really warm here too. Today was 95 Fahrenheit. What was it, 29 Celsius? I think that's what it was working up into, but oh my god, it was so warm today. And it's only going to get warmer, guys. It is only going to get warmer. That's the tough thing, right? I had bad luck and got the skin on the last balloon. But no, wait, that was me, because I did the same. So when I did the balloon thing with White Fox, I got her skin on the third try. On the third try, I got her skin, and I was like, you know what? I have enough of these coins left over. If I go try to get the Emma skin, which is a character that I do play, I wonder if I could get the same luck. I used all my coins to get the Emma skin, but I was like, worth it. Worth it. Trying to rest, but the train keeps doing what now? Cell phone, the app was playing up for me. The app was acting up for me a lot too, Kiwi, so I completely understand. I get it. But yeah, as long as I could talk to you on YouTube, that's okay with me. The train keeps honking for the last 20 minutes. Oh, that's a long time. I have good news. I'm out of heat. Out of the heat, gonna be in the cool AC air for, oh, that's good. That's good. Overcast here since Monday. No really heavy rain. No rain? Okay. I actually don't, I love the rain. Don't get me wrong. I love the rain. But when it's hot and rainy, no, fuck that. Hi, Atto. Welcome in. 95 is 35 Celsius. It's 35? Oh my gosh, that's so hot. El Nino sucked. I tried to leave my window open for 30 minutes. Big swarm of mosquitoes in your room? Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Put some honey. Put some honey down. The mosquitoes will... Well, do they drink honey? I don't even know. Do they drink honey? You looked out for White Fox. I did. I was so lucky for her. Very unfortunate. The luck didn't carry over for Emma, though. I know. It's okay, though. It's okay. It was a bunch of tokens that I had from past... what's it called? From past... like battle passes, because I didn't get the last battle pass. I have the current one because I really want those skins. The other skin that I really want that's out right now is, oh gosh, there's another skin that I'm like, oh, the one for Jubilee. I really want the one from Jubilee, but I'm also kind of like, maybe if I wait a little bit, I can get another Jubilee skin that I like more. I like the Gothic one, I really do, but I kind of want to wait to see if I can get like a different one, you know what I mean? Different one. Ew, rain and heat, right? Hi Ivan, welcome in. Only blood. Do mosquitoes drink honey? Probably not, little jerks, right? And apparently they really prefer the like blood type A. So if you guys are blood type A, you're gonna get bit more often than if you were like me, which is blood type O negative. I think that's O negative is the one that's like considered to be the more universal donor, right? Right, that's the one that I'm thinking of, because I have the same blood type as my mum, and I'm O negative. I think a drop of soap and sugar water geysers them. Oh, I love summer showers. I don't, because it's like hot and humid, and I would rather just be dry heat. I'd rather there just be a dry heat. Speaking of, my hands are super dry. I'm gonna put a little bit of lotion on my hands. I have this lotion that my friend gave me. Oh, it smells so good. It's called Mulan. She's a Disney girly. But it smells really good. It's really, really good. It's like that fluffy lotion too, like the foamy ones. But the one that she gave me is called Mulan. And it's whipped lotion. That's what's called, whipped. Type O negative. Love that band. Wait, that's a band? Really? O negative? Can I borrow some blood, please? Do you need some blood, Atra? Do you need blood? Okay, I'll give you some of my blood only because I love you. But just you, Atra, okay? The blood has to go to you and only you, which means I need to inject it into your blood system. Most of the mosquitoes I've been hunting in my own room are blood-sucking little shits. That's what I call them. No, that's fair. Not sure about the blood type preference, but mosquitoes tend to prefer targeting anyone of the three factors: large body, hot body, and big breathers. Big body as in like they're squishy, extra squishy. Okay, deal. Perfect. Okay, Atra, I'm on my way over. I'm gonna inject my blood directly into your system. We're gonna do, what is it called? My grandpa had to go through it when he was still with us. It was dialysis. We're gonna do dialysis. Wait, does that mean Atra's then gonna become a what's it called? Sage! Thank you so much, the resub Sage! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please enjoy this. Emerson is always welcome to your favorite cafe. Blood transfusion. No, dialysis. I'm thinking dialysis. That's what I'm thinking of, dialysis. Me and Atra are going to go through blood dialysis, and they're going to become a necrotic Atra. Hi, Sage. Thank you for the resub. Oh, it's so hot. Take my robe off, please. No, I can't even stand to look at myself wearing the robe. I can't. Hi, Sage. How are you? How are you? I was actually talking to Braun earlier today about Frankenstein and the book and everything that we're reading. And what do you guys think? Okay, actually backing up. I realized, right, when we do our monthly movie night, on the day that we have it set originally, we cannot watch the movie on that day. That is the day that is the week that I'll be doing my big birthday event, which is going to be the 3rd, every Monday through Friday for the first 2 weeks of August. So from the 3rd through the 14th, we'll be doing birthday stuff. We'll be doing a birthday-a-thon, subathon, dono-a-thon, whatever you guys want to call it. And it'll be raising money for the 2.0. We have incentives, which reminds me, actually, we have incentives. So instead of watching on the 15th, like we originally have it planned, because I'm leaving for vacation on the 15th, which means I will not even be home on that day. So we moved it to the week before, which is the 8th. It'll be August 8th, which is 2 days after my birthday at 9 p.m. PST. We're going to do a movie night. So if you guys are in my Discord, make sure you vote, because we're going to do a double feature. And I picked all 4 movies that I wanted to watch because it's my birthday week. I want to watch any 2 of those 4 movies. So there's going to be Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio or Frankenstein. There is Dracula 2005, which is the one that came out last year. Or there's a movie that I've been on my radar for a little while called Hook. It's basically like a darker version of Peter Pan from the point of view of Hook, as if he was more evil, I guess. More evil. Hi, Nova. Wait, when did I follow? June 16th. Oh, Hook. So we're going to watch 2 of those movies. Based off of what you guys vote, okay? With Robin Williams? Not with Robin Williams. This is... It's not with Robin Williams. It's not the Peter Pan Robin Williams one. It is a different movie. It's called Hook. It is from the point of view of... what's it called? I mean, I love the Robin Williams one, but I wanted to kind of keep on theme with the horror films because I love scary films. I love scary movies. Sorry, I needed water. But basically, Hook is from the point of view of James Hook. He is, he basically has to kill, Peter Pan and, the Lost Boys. It sounded interesting. I'm just like, you know what? It might be a really bad film, but I kind of want to watch it. Got to see that yet either. Yeah. I love the one with Robin Williams. The one with Robin Williams is a classic film. It's one of my favorites as a kid. I remember seeing it when I was in school, and oh my gosh, it was so good. But it was also like a substitute teacher brought it in for us to watch. So it was not like an official thing from the school or anything like that. But Hook is 2025. It was last year. Okay, let me read to you the premise of Hook. After murdering John Darling and losing his hand to Peter Pan, Lily, the daughter of Peter and Wendy, now will face carnage from the drug-induced revenge-seeking James Hook, her biological father, until he marries Wendy Darling. So who knows how good it actually is? It might just be silly goofy, but it might also be like really, really good. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I only know Robin Williams version. Yeah, I don't think I got to see that. Yeah, average boomer story. You give films benefit of the doubt like a film person? Yes, yes. I will watch the film and judge for myself if it will be a good film or not. I don't really like when people just like, oh no, you shouldn't watch that because it was really bad. Well, I'm still gonna watch it because I might like it. You know what I mean? Just because film critics say, oh no, it was really bad, it was terrible, the music sucked, whatever, doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because movies are all about preference and opinion, you know? So who knows? We might like it. We might not like it. We'll see. But those are the 4 films. Guillermo del Toro, Pinocchio, and Frankenstein are the options, as well as Hook with the one I just read you, not the Robin Williams ones, a different one. And the other film is Dracula 2005. I know the one you're talking about. You do? You've already casted your vote? Signed the start of it, so I would pretty nice to see that. Yeah. Be exciting. Mesa! Hi, Mesa. How are you? Benty! Hi, Bunny. How are you? Honestly, it's better to just judge it for yourself. Can't even trust game critics anymore. True. The only thing that I'll trust, honestly, is like if so figuratively speaking, right, if I had a significant other and I knew that they had similar taste to films as much as I did, and they're like, oh yeah, no, I watched that, it wasn't very good, it had this and that and blah blah blah, and it did this very poorly, I would probably take their criticism of the film over someone I don't know who doesn't have similar taste in films than I do. You know what I mean? Because then at least like they're a trusted source based off of the fact that we have that similar interest. But backtracking a bit more, right? Because we're doing the hi love, welcome in. Because we're doing the 2 weeks of birthday stuff, I promised I would show you guys the first set of incentives. I said I was going to show them to you guys. Is it this one? Now I'm like questioning, was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. Okay, so we will... Here we go. Here is the first set of incentives. Those of you who are on mobile, I will move it over like this a little bit just so you guys can see them. Of the incentives, we have starting at the $50 point. This is dollars, donations straight to my throne. I will have a thing to kind of like help me keep track of the donations. If you guys do Ko-Fi, if you guys do bits, if you guys do subs, they will still count. I will have to we'll see if I can if I have to do it manually to add it, or if the tracker thing that I got will help keep track. But if you guys want the link now ahead of time, here is the link right there. It's going to be the one that's pinned to the top. You guys can see it on the top right of my screen as well. That is the donation goal for the birthday 2.0 thing. Starting at $50, right? The incentives that we have are chat pics, Discord PFP, and status. Only Discord, right? Not Twitter, not Blue Sky, not YouTube, because those are my business accounts, and I need to make sure that my business accounts see the best side right away, so I can get like sponsorships and stuff like that a little bit easier. So Discord, PFP, and status for a month. BRB, okay, Kiwi. And then after that, we have unhinged at everyone in Discord. So you guys will get me to say, or type out whatever you want me to say in Discord, because then I could say whatever I want in my own Discord, you know what I mean? Without having to think about or worry about my account getting banned or anything like that, right? VTuber design showcase stream, so you guys will be able to give me your VTuber designs, and I will do like a showcase, tell you about what I like about them, what I would change from my own personal opinion. Walkies with chat redeem, so you guys know my walkies redeem, the one where I have my leash whenever Fen asks for walkies. You guys will actually be able to redeem that to yourselves with channel points. Return of zombie breakfast art stream, so I'll be doing zombie breakfast art. I am not an artist. You guys know this, so so you guys will see those. After that we have I will say blub blub at the end of every sentence for 5 minutes, and if I miss a sentence then I have to start over. At 400 we have a manicure stream, so I'll basically be painting my nails whatever color you guys want me to paint them. We could do like one nail different color, and they'll be with gel, so they'll stay for a very, very, very long time. After that, if we reach the $500 mark, I will commission the rigged booba overlay, which is for hand cam streams. After that, we have the Ko-Fi voice pack. We have a couple voice packs already, but I'll do an updated one with more stuff, more songs, more alerts. I'll probably redo some of the ones that we have in the past, and it'll basically be like a whole new pack with a bunch of different things. I'm planning on at least 10 different things for the voice pack. After that, we have commission a printable bookmark. This is something that we have talked about before in the past. Let me just move this over for people on vertical. What was it? We have talked about making a printable bookmark. I've already talked to one of my friends who showed interest in doing the bookmark art. After that, I have avoided playing Fortnite since it has come out. So if we reach the $1,000 goal, I will play Fortnite. I will get and play Fortnite. After that, if we get to the Fortnite level, I will play drunk Fortnite, where every time we start a game or where I die in the game, I will take a drink of my beverage of choice. At 1,400, I will do ASMR nom and lickies stream. You guys know I don't really do ear lickies on ASMR nights. It's not really something that I do. But if we reach the $1,400 point, then I will do a stream of ear noms, ear lickies. At the 1,600, you guys can put a collar on me. I found a what's it called? An item that puts a collar on me, and it's rigged and everything. So that'll be fun. At $1,800, I'll do ASMR clicker training stream. So I will get a clicker and we will do clicker training. Bacon. We're doing something right now, Bacon. Thank you. Hi, Bacon. How are you? After that, if we reach the $2,000 mark, which will pay for not just the art for the 2.0 model, but also for the rigging. So the total price of everything, we are at 47% right now. So the $2,000 mark on this list right now will pay for the art and the rigging. I've already talked to both, and they gave me an estimate of how much it would be. It is going to be about 3,700, I believe is what it was. Let me just double check. In total, we are looking at, 3,840. So we need 2,053 and 21 cents to basically pay out the rest for the 2.0 model. So that is all the incentives for the birthday thing that we're doing in August. If you guys didn't see it, don't worry, I'll be posting them at the end of next week, so you guys can see all the incentives as well as their stretch goals. Hi Venom, welcome in, how are you? Welcome in, how's your night? Let me see. US cycloparasis outbreak grows, Taco Bell cited. Oh yeah, I did see that. I actually sent that over to my friend Vickle, who loves Taco Bell. They love Taco Bell like so much. Hi love, welcome in, how are you? Finding out you'll play Fortnite at $1,000. At the $1,000 mark, I will play Fortnite. At least for one night. At least for the one night we'll play Fortnite. They're doing a remake of Animal Farm rather than the classic traumatic art of anti-fascist story. It is a, well, animals running a farm and anti-capitalist. Huh. Okay. It's very warm. It's very warm, right, Mesa? How are you? I'm good, Bunny. How are you? Doing good. These are really silly, and I love that so much. I wanted them to be silly. I wanted them to be funny and silly things, but you're a work of art. No, you are Mesa. You are Atra. You are. It's from outside again. 90 Fahrenheit, 93. Yeah, it was 95 today. Remember to stay hydrated. Yes, I have lots of water. Today is a big day. What's today, Venom? What's the big day for today? What are you doing today? Hi, Benoy. James says off topic since you're living in Canada. I'm not in Canada. I'm not in Canada. Basically have to register your bank account as a business account. Hope you don't mind answering. I could not answer that, James, because I am not in Canada. That is not a me question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It seemed like the best time to interrupt and hold your chin. Rude. Rude. Pinoy, I like it when you bark for me. Bark more. I wonder, quick, a test. How good is your Batman impression? Terrible. It's horrible. I'm concerned, especially since it's dealing with cilantro. Is it the cilantro? The Lego drama? Today is a big... The Lego drama? What Lego? Like the Lego... Like a movie or a series about Legos? Is that what you mean, Venom? Is that what you're talking about? Hi, Kaiser! Welcome in, welcome in. How are you, kitty? Somehow, I thought you were in Canada. No, you're good. Next time we play Devil Dino, wouldn't it make more sense if you played Wolverine and barked for me? Could you share your Batman impression if you'd like? No. No, I cannot. I will not. I never had to register my bank account as a business account. But are you in Canada, Bacon? Are you in Canada? That's why they were asking us, because they're Canada. Hello, hi Kaiser. Good idea. There was something I was gonna do. Oh right, kisses. I owe you guys a couple kisses. We had 2 subs today. Let's see, we had subs by Sage and from Bologna. Let me go ahead and add some kisses on them, on myself for you guys. Let's see. For Sage, I like to do, you like purple. And I know you like the dark purple. That's more of a red. We'll do the dark purple. Here we go. Sage likes the dark purple. Oh, I have to bring this forward a bit more. Here we go. Here you go, Sage. And I'll flip it a bit. And I'll put it right there for Sage. There you go. Thank you for the care package. And then one more for Valonia. Valonia, I know you like the brighter purple. You like this one. I will put that right here on my forehead. There we go. Thank you for the kisses. Thank you, thank you. Make commitment about having to cross the border. Oh yeah, you did. I keep thinking every time you say that, for some reason, I'm not thinking like country border, I'm thinking like state border. Lego store stole 25,000 Lego collection from, oh, what? Today is a big day? Wait, what? I didn't know that. That's crazy, Venom. Why would they do that? That's so mean. That is so mean. Why would they do that? Or to make some fence to stone. Honestly, yeah, I do need that a lot. I need the back fence to be made into stone, please. Who then? Magnus! Hi, Magnus. Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Actually, wouldn't Wolverine be more of a wolf howl because of that one Maroon 5 song? You're so right. You're so right. I'm already hyped for the Moomboothon goals. Honestly, me too. I'm like I said before, I'm nervous about it because I feel like and this is just a me thing, okay? This is just 100% a me thing. If we don't reach the full goal, right, that is not on anyone else besides me, right? Because this is my 2.0 that I want, which means I will just have to work harder and put more money aside to get it done if we don't reach the goal. However, my mind always has to tell myself not to expect things, because no one, what's the word I'm thinking of? No one owes me anything, right? Like, it always feels so like mean to say it like that, but it definitely is like, I'm not expecting to reach that goal. I don't expect to reach that goal. I will never expect to reach that goal. If we do, I will cry and be very happy about it. But I'll also have the understanding that right now is tough times for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, it is more important to me that you guys feed yourselves, pay your bills, take care of yourselves, as opposed to doing anything like that for my wants. You know what I mean? So it's the whole idea of like wanting something and needing something, you know? And I'd rather you guys take care of your needs than my wants, right? Because at the end of the day, again, no one owes me anything, you know, or to come to make the fences store. It's true. I have a quote I'd like to share about this community. I like it in here. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Aw, that's so cute. I love the purple. Yeah, it's a good purple. James says, gonna go to sleep. Insurance appointment tomorrow. Have a good night, James. Take care. Hopefully the appointment goes well. Rex! Hi, Rex. It's a third-party company that basically tried to steal like 400,000 collection. Oh, okay, so it wasn't the Lego company itself. It was a third-party company. That is crazy. Do it in October when I get back for the Christmas period, since I have all of December you have off? Oh my gosh. Valid point. What about the one seaside animated background? Are you talking about the Lighthouse? Is that the one you're talking about, Mesa? Where it's like, where it looks like we're on the balcony? Or do you mean the one with the big moon in the background? I have a couple different backgrounds. How's y'all evening going? Good, Rife. How are you? I did space out for a bit earlier to say whether or not you were streaming on the 14th of August. I am not. I am not streaming on the 14th of August because I will be, well, wait, hold on. The 14th of August is... Okay, yeah, I will be streaming on the 14th of August, yes. 14th of August I will be streaming, but and that is the last day of stream before I leave on the 15th, which is literally the next day, so. No, it wasn't Lego themselves. Lego can't really help with it since it's not them. Got it. Okay, so it's not Lego, it's another group. Okay. With all of December. Using 6 leave days, I can make it all of December off due to short days and start holidays. That is awesome. We're not obligated. I think it would be a better way of phrasing that. That's kind of really hope we can make the goal even more now. Yes, that's the word. You're not obligated. 100% no one is obligated to do anything. Even if you guys can only just come in to chat and hang out and like talk with me, that helps more than you guys know. It brings attention to my channel, it brings attention to the event, and I even hate to say it this way, but it definitely helps with the ads, right? Because every time somebody is in the chat, the more people that are in the chat, the more ad revenue. Granted, it's 3 cents, but 3 cents times 100, right? You know what I mean? I really hope things go well for you. We're so grateful for what you do and we're rooting for you. I hope so too. I'm excited but nervous at the same time. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. Mostly because like I said, I'm more so worried that we will not reach the goal. And I'll have like I even hate to word it this way. The biggest concern, right, is we won't reach any of the goals. And then I'm just kind of like, I don't know. You know that feeling, right? You know what I mean? Is that... Anyways, let's stop talking about this. It's uncomfortable now. Really quick, what we're doing. We got 4 more minutes until ads. Do I owe... Wait, no, there was something else. I had an idea of what I wanted to talk to you guys. There was something else. We mentioned the birthday movie night, which is going to be on the 8th. We have the movie thing in the Discord, so if you guys want to like vote on the next film. There was one more thing, and now I'm like, what was it? What was the thing that I wanted to talk about? I don't remember. Wait, hold on. Let me see if they made it or not first, because I had this idea. Or I guess just to say, we at House Obscurus had this idea. I'm not sure if it was ever made for this week. It might have to be for next week. Okay, it was not made. Okay, never mind. It didn't go out. So never mind. There goes that. But Ghibli movie marathon. It's not going to be Ghibli films. Because the 8th is my birthday week, because my birthday day is on the 6th. So we're going to do movies on the 8th, and we have 4 movies that you guys have to vote on, and then we're going to watch the top 2. So only vote for 2 movies, okay? In the Discord, only vote for 2 movies. If you vote for all of them, I will be upset with you. I won't be able to actually do anything, but I will be very upset. So please don't. Just don't. Just don't do it, please. Unrelated, maybe the universe is tickling me with something. New passport after 2 years since expiration. Have the 10-year valid option. Oh. Oh, that's exciting, Bologna. Hopefully, if you do get your pass, you do travel a little bit more. Don't worry about that. Reach at least the first couple. Hi, Thick. Welcome in. How are you? How's your night? All the buttons move a bit cold to me. I know, Sage. I know. Trust me. All the movies look really good. We're only going to do 2 films, though, because that is the day after the very first week, and I'm planning on doing stuff on that day, like in the afternoon. So I might have to move the time back. But we're still going to do a movie that night, because I am planning on going to dinner with my family like earlier that day. Because we're not going to do dinner on my birthday, which is on a Wednesday. We're going to do birthday dinner the weekend, like that weekend, because I'm not streaming Saturday, Sunday. Magna. Rude. I like how I did the zoom for Magna, but not for bacon. That's crazy. But what's the word I'm thinking of? We will be doing dinner on the 8th, and then right after, when I get back, we'll be setting up for movie time. You know, I have not showed... I showed you guys it yesterday, but you guys want to see the stretch goals as well? We did the stretch goals yesterday, and I want to show you guys the first initial setup today. Do you guys want to see the stretch goals? I did show them yesterday, so I don't mind showing them today. But you guys have 10 seconds to tell me, because we have 40 seconds until the ads hit. Break almost here. Chat scrolling by. I sneak one in. Downloaded Brawlhalla, and now I'm doing some waifus. Waifus. Nice. Absolutely, you want to see them? Okay, Michael. Here you go. I will put them on screen. Unfortunately, if you guys are on vertical, you'll only see about half of them at a time, but there's the stretch goals. One of my favorite ones that I really wanted to do, and I'm hoping we can get it because it's something I've been thinking about doing for a while, is Monday morning ASMR. So Monday after stream, right, I'll have a couple hours, so I'll do like an hour or 2 of ASMR before I go lay down. But those are the stretch goals. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take a quick BRB. Ads are going to be starting. Ads has started. So I'm going to do a quick BRB. We're going to set up to do reading stream, and I will be right back. It looks like we are all ready for some ASMR reading tonight. Hopefully you guys all stood up and got some water, got some ice for your drinks. Tasty, tasty water, especially when it's cold. Ugh, I love cold water. Let's go ahead and let's switch on over. Oh. And let me do that. And let me get the book. I keep forgetting that they're not connected. The music between the two scenes. Let's do that. There we go. Oh, she's back. Hi, Venom. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, I am back. I think I'm going to change the music. We have it set to Cello Sonata number 1, but I think I want to change it. Is it Nocturne in E that I like? Is it this one? Thank you for the kiss. Yes. This is the one. I like this one. I think this would be a great one for tonight. Let me get my book. My book likes to float off to the side. All right. Much better. Okay. And we are all set, I believe. I think we are all set for tonight's stream. One more little change. There it is. All right. Perfect. You are beautiful. Thank you, Kiwi. Thank you, thank you. We are starting on chapter 6 of tonight's story. If you guys would like to join us, there is the link to the book. Thank you for the kiss. There's the link to the book, and anyone can read it. It is a free book online off of Gutenberg, and they are amazing. We love Gutenberg. Let's see, I missed so much. Hi, Turkey. Welcome in. Have a good night, Golden. Rest well. Victor playing God, honestly. But welcome back. Welcome back, Void. How are you? Welcome back. Hi, Nivy. Welcome in. For the night will I tank? Well, I'm right here. I'm right here for you, Thick. I got you. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Free from ads. Welcome back from the ads. Want a break from the ads? Okay. Looks like we are all set. There we go. I'm gonna go lurk too, dealing with some stuff tomorrow, and I just want to listen for a while. No, you're good, Michael. Take your time. Enjoy your lurk. Alright. So, where we were last time, right? Victor Frankenstein, he created his creature. He created the monster that he calls Demon Abomination. And once the monster, or sometimes people call him Adam, right? So once the creation started moving, he ran away. He got scared of his own creation and he ran away, and he regretted almost instantly what he did. Everybody knows that the creation of life itself is in the hands of not a scientist using the parts of dead bodies and sewing them together. I am a case and example. Hence why I'm not perfect. And so what he ended up doing is he ran away and he sought solace in a church. However, before he can go into the church, he came across his friend. I forget his name. Clerval, his friend Clerval, right? And so they started talking, and Clerval notices that Frankenstein does not look well. He looks sick. It looks like he hasn't slept or ate in a very long time. What chapters does Frankenstein have? There are in total about 24, and we're on chapter 6. So we're not quite halfway there yet. So he comes across Clerval, and he manages to get him to like a safe place, to basically take care of him. Clerval says, "My dearest Frankenstein, I see that you are unwell. I will be taking care of you in the meantime." No one should be trying to do that. Exactly. You have to make it back in time. Welcome back. Sorry, I feel something in my eye. I think it's just an eyelash, but... Okay, there we go. So now we are on chapter 6. Okay. Clerval then put the following letter into my hands. It was from my own Elizabeth. Oh, right, so when they were at the house and Clerval was taking care of Frankenstein, he basically tells him, "I have letters from your family that you have not spoken to in all the time that you have been away," which is a little over 2 years. So I have some letters from them, just as much as you should be writing letters to them. So Clerval hands Frankenstein a letter with chapter 6. He says, "Clerval," a lot of letters. Oh, I bet. He only hands him one, though. Clerval then puts the following letter into my hands. It was from my own Elizabeth. "My dearest cousin, you have been ill, very ill, and even the constant letters of our dear, kind Henry are not sufficient to reassure me on your account. You are forbidden to write, to hold a pen, yet one word from you, dear Victor, is necessary to calm our apprehensions. For a long time I have thought that each post would bring this line, and my persuasions have restrained my uncle from undertaking a journey to Ingolstadt. I have prevented his encountering the inconveniences and perhaps dangers of so long a journey, yet how often I have regretted not being able to perform it myself. I figure to myself that the task of attending on you on your sickbed has devolved on some mercenary old nurse who could never guess your wishes nor minister to them with the care and affection of your poor cousin. Yet that is over now. Clerval writes that indeed you are getting better. I eagerly hope that you will confirm this intelligence soon in your own handwriting. Get well and return to us. You will find a happy, cheerful home and friends who love you dearly. Your father's health is vigorous, and he asks but to see you, but to be assured. He asks but to see you, but to be assured that you are well, and not a care will ever cloud his benevolent countenance. How peaceful you would be to remark the improvement of our Ernest. He is now 16 and full of activity and spirit. He is desirous to be a true Swiss, and to enter into foreign service, but we cannot part with him, at least until his elder brother returns to us. My uncle is not pleased with the idea of a military career in a distant country, but Ernest never had your powers of application. He looks upon study as an odious fetter. His time is spent in the open air, climbing the hills or rows of the lake. I fear that he will become an idler unless we yield to the point and permit him to enter onto the profession which he has selected. Little alteration, except the growth of our dear children, has taken place since you left us. The blue lake and snow-clad mountains, they never change, and I think our placid home and our contented hearts are regulated by the same immutable laws. My trifling occupations take up my time and amuse me, and I am rewarded for any exertions by seeing none but happy, kind faces around me. Since you left us, but one change has taken place in our little household. Do you remember on what occasion Justine Moritz entered our family? Probably you do not. I will relate her story, therefore, in a new word. Madame Moritz, her mother, was a widow with 4 children, of whom Justine was the 3rd. This girl had always been the favorite of her father, but through a strange perversity, her mother could not endure her, and after the death of M. Moritz treated her very ill. My aunt observed this, and when Justine was 12 years old, prevailed on her mother to allow her to live at our house. Hence there is less distraction between the several classes of its inhabitants, and the lower orders being neither so poor nor so despised. Their manners despised, there we go. No. Where was I? Oh, right, hold on. The replication institutions of our country have... No, that's not where I was. This is where I was. I gotta highlight where I am. Okay, there we go. My aunt observed this, and when Justine had turned 12 years of age, prevailed on her mother to allow her to live at our house. The republican institutions of our country have produced simpler and happier manners than those which prevail with the great monarchies that surround it. Hence there is less distinction between the several classes of its inhabitants, and the lower orders, being neither so poor nor so despised. Their manners are more refined and moral. A servant in Geneva does not mean the same thing as a servant in France and England. Justine, thus received in our family, learned the duties of a servant, a condition which, in our fortunate country, does not include the idea of ignorance and a sacrifice of the dignity of a human being. No, you're good, Pinoy. I kind of, it happens to me sometimes. Justine, you may remember, was a great favorite of yours, and I recollect you once remarked that if you were in ill humor, one glance from Justine could dissipate it. For the same reason that Ariosto gives concerning the beauty of Angelica. She looked so frank-hearted and happy. My aunt received a great attachment for her, by which she was induced to give her an education superior to that which she had at first intended. This benefit was fully repaid. Justine was the most graceful little creature in the world. I do not mean that she made any professions. I never heard one pass her lips. But you could see by her eyes that she almost adored her protectress. Although her disposition was gay and in many respects inconsiderate, yet she paid the greatest attention to every gesture of my aunt. She thought her the model of all excellence and endeavored to imitate her phraseology and manners, so that even now she often reminds me of her. When my dearest aunt died, everyone was too much occupied with their own grief to notice poor Justine, who had attended her during her illness with the most anxious affection. Poor Justine was very ill, but other trials were reserved for her. One by one, her brothers and sisters died, and her mother, with the exception of her neglected daughter, was left childless. The conscience of the woman was troubled. She began to think that the deaths of her favorites was a judgment from heaven to chastise her partiality. She was Roman Catholic, and I believed her confessor confirmed the idea which she had conceived. Accordingly, a few months after your departure for East Ingolstadt, Justine was called home by her repentant mother. Poor girl. She wept when she quitted our house. She was much altered since the death of my aunt. Grief had given softness and a winning mindlessness to her manners, which had before been remarkable for vivacity. Nor was her residence at her mother's house of a nature to restore her gaiety. The poor woman was very vacillating in her repentance. She sometimes begged Justine to forgive her unkindness, but much often accused her of having caused the deaths of her brothers and sisters. Perpetual fretting at length threw Madame Martise into a decline, which at first increased her irritability, but she is now at peace forever. She died on the first approach of cold winter. At the beginning of this last winter, Justine had just returned to us, and I assure you that I love her tenderly. She is very clever and gentle and extremely pretty, and I mentioned before, her mien and her expression continually remind me of my dear aunt. I must say also a few words to you, my dear cousin, of darling little William. I wish you could see him. He is very tall for his age, with sweet laugh, blue eyes, dark eyelashes, and curling hair. When he smiles, 2 little dimples appear on each cheek, which are rosy with health. He has already had 2 or 3 wives, but Louisa Berian is his favorite, a pretty little girl of 5 years of age. Now, dear Victor, I dare say you wish to be indulged in a little gossip concerning the good people of Geneva. The pretty Miss Mansfield has already received the congratulatory visits on her approaching marriage with a young Englishman, John Melbourne, Esquire. Her ugly sister, Manon, married M. Doulevard, the rich banker, last autumn. Your favorite schoolfellow, Louis Manoir, has suffered several misfortunes since the departure of Clerval from Geneva, but he has already recovered his spirits, and is reported to be on the point of marrying the lively, pretty Frenchwoman, Madame Tavernier. She is a widow, and much older than Manoir, but she is very much admired and a favorite with everybody. I have written myself into better spirits, dear cousin, but my anxiety returns upon me as I conclude. Write, dearest Victor, 1 line, 1 word will be a blessing to us. 10,000 thanks to Henry for his kindness, his affection, and his many letters. We are sincerely grateful. Adieu, my cousin. Take care of yourself, and I entreat you to write. Elizabeth Lavenza. Geneva, March 18th, 17... Dear Elizabeth, I exclaimed when I had read her letter, I will write instantly and relieve them from the anxiety they must feel. I wrote, and this exertion greatly fatigued me, but my convalescence had commenced, and proceeding regularly, in another fortnight I was able to leave my chamber. One of my first duties on my recovery was to introduce Clerval to the several professors of the university. In doing this, I underwent a kind of rough usage ill-befitting the wounds that my mind had sustained. Ever since the fatal night, the end of my labors and the beginning of my misfortunes, I had conveyed a violent antipathy even to the name of natural philosophy. When I was otherwise quite restored to health, the sight of a chemical instrument would renew all the agony of my nervous systems. Henry saw this and had removed all my apparatus from my view. He had also changed my apartment, for he perceived that I had acquired a dislike for the room which had previously been my laboratory. But these cares of Clerval were made to no avail when I visited the professors. M. Waldman inflicted torture when he praised with kindness and warmness the astonishing progress I had made in the sciences. He soon perceived that I disliked the subject, but not guessing the real cause, he attributed my feelings to modesty and changed the subject from my improvement to the science itself, with the desire, as I evidently saw, of drawing me out. What could I do? He meant to please, and he tormented me. I felt as if he had placed carefully, one by one, in my view, those instruments which were to be afterward used in putting me to a slow and cruel death. I writhed under his words, yet dared not exhibit the pain I felt. Clerval, whose eyes and feelings were always quick in discerning the sensations of others, declined the subject, alleging in excuse his total ignorance, and the conversation took a more general turn. I thanked my friend from my heart, and I did not speak. I saw plainly that he was surprised, but he never attempted to draw my secret from me, and although I loved him with a mixture of affection and reverence that knew no bounds, yet I could never persuade myself to confide in him that event which also often presented to my recollection, but which I feared the detail of another would only impress more deeply. M. Crump was not equally docile, and in my condition at the time of almost insupportable sensitiveness, his harsh, blunt incomeness gave me even more pain than the benevolent approbation of M. Waldman. "Ah, damn the fellow!" cried he. "Why, M. Clerval, I assure you he has outscripted us all. Aye, stare if you please, but it is nevertheless true. A youngster who by a few years ago believed in Cornelius Agrippa as firmly as in the gospel, and now set himself at the head of the university, and if he is not soon pulled down, we shall all be out of countenance. Aye, aye," continued he, observing the face expressive of suffering. "M. Frankenstein is modest, an excellent quality in a young man. Young men should be different of themselves. You know, M. Clerval, I was myself one young, but that was out in very short time." M. Krempt had now commenced a eulogy on myself, commenced a eulogy on himself, which happily turned the conversation from a subject that was so annoying to me. Clerval had never sympathized in my tastes for natural science, and his literary pursuits differed wholly from those which had occupied me. He came to the university with the design of making himself complete master of the Oriental languages, and thus he should open a field for the plan of life he had marked out for himself. Resolved to pursue no inglorious career, he turned his eye towards the east, as affording scope for his spirit of enterprise. The Persian, Arabic, Sanskrit languages engaged his attention, and I was easily induced to enter on the same studies. Idleness had never been irksome to me, but now that I wished to fly from my reflection and hated my former studies, I felt great relief in being the fellow pupil with my friend, and found not only instruction, but consolation in the works of their Orientals. I did not, like him, attempt a critical knowledge of their dialects, for I did not contemplate making any other use of them than temporary amusement. I did not, like him, attempt a critical knowledge of their dialects, for I did not contemplate making any other use of elevating to a degree I never experienced in studying the authors of any other country. When you read their writings, life appears to consist in a warm sun and a garden of roses, in the smiles and frowns of a fair enemy, and the fire that consumes your own heart. How different from the manly and heroical poetry of Greece and Rome! And summer passed away in these occupations, and my return to Geneva was fixed for the later end of autumn. Bye, Venom. Have a good one. But being delayed by several accidents, winter and snow arrived. The roads were deemed impassable, and my journey was slow until the ensuing spring. I felt this delay very bitterly, for I longed to see my native town and my beloved friends. My return had only been delayed so long from an unwillingness to leave Clerval in a strange place, before he had become acquainted with any of its inhabitants. The winter, however, was spent cheerfully, and although the spring was uncommonly late, when it came, its beauty compensated for its dilatoriness. I was like, what is that? What does that word mean? I've never seen that word. The habit or quality of being slow. Oh, okay, dilatoriness. The month of May had already commenced, and I expected a letter daily, which was to fix the date of my departure. When Henry proposed a pedestrian tour in the environs of Ingolstadt, that I might bid a personal farewell to the country I had so long inhabited, I accepted with pleasure to this proposition. I was fond of exercise, and Clerval had always been my favourite companion in the ramble of this nature that I had taken among the scenes of my native country. We passed a fortnight in these perambulations. My health and spirits had long been restored, and they gained traditional strength from the salubrious air I breathed and the natural incidences of our progress, and the conversation of my friend. Study had before secluded me from my intercourse with my fellow creatures, and rendered me unsocial, but Clerval called forth the better feeling of my heart. He again taught me to love the aspect of nature and the cheerful faces of children. Excellent friend, how sincerely you did love me and endeavor to elevate my mind until it was on a level with your own. A selfish pursuit had cramped and narrowed me until your gentleness and affection warmed and opened my senses. I became the same happy creature who, a few years ago, loved and beloved by all, had no sorrow or care, when happy, inanimate nature had the power of bestowing on me the most delightful sensations. A serene sky and verdant fields filled me with ecstasy. The present season was indeed divine. The flowers of spring bloomed in the hedges, while those of summer were already in bud. I was undisturbed by thoughts which during my preceding year had pressed upon me, notwithstanding my endeavours to throw them off with an invincible burden. Henry rejoiced in my gaiety and sincerely sympathized in my feelings. He exerted himself to amuse me, while he expressed the sensations that filled his soul. The resources of his mind on this occasion were truly astonishing. His conversation was full of imagination and very often an imitation of the Persian and Arabic writers. He invented tales of wonderful fancy and passion. At other times he repeated my favorite poems, or drew me out into arguments which he supported with great ingenuity. We returned to our college on a Sunday afternoon. The peasants were dancing, and everyone we met appeared gay and happy. My own spirits were high, and I bounded along with feelings of unbridled joy and hilarity. Tronsky, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Susano, hi. Welcome in. Hi, Galaxy. How are you? To say hi and have a good rest of the stream. Thank you so much, Galaxy. Enjoy your night. Before I fall asleep, the computer's saying, have a good night, Dry Dog. Get nice and cozy. We are now on chapter 7. I love that these are just number chapters. I don't have to put the title. The title is the number. Time for some water. All right. Chapter 7. On my return, I found the following letter from my father. My dear Victor, you have probably waited impatiently for a letter to fix the date of return to us, and I was at first tempted to write only a few lines merely mentioning the day on which I should expect you, but that would be a cruel kindness and I dare not do it. What would be your surprise, my son, when you expected a happy and glad welcome to behold? On the contrary, tears and wretchedness. And now, Victor, can I relate our misfortune? Absence cannot have rendered you callous to our joys and griefs, and how shall I inflict pain on my long-absent son? I wish to prepare you for the woeful news, but I know it is impossible. Even now, your eyes skims over the page to seek the words which are to convey you the horrible tidings. William is dead. That sweet child whose smiles delighted and warmed my heart, who was so gentle, yet so gay. Victor, he is murdered. I will not attempt to console you, but will simply relate the circumstances of the transactions. Last Thursday, May 7th, I, my niece, and your 2 brothers went to walk in Plainpalais. The evening was warm and serene, and we prolonged our walk further than the usual. It was already dusk before we thought of returning, and then we discovered that William and Ernest, who had gone on before, were not to be found. We accordingly rested on a seat until they should return. Presently, Ernest came and inquired if we had seen his brother. He said that he had been playing with him, that William had run away to hide himself, and that he vainly sought for him and afterwards waited for a long time, but that he did not return. This account rather alarmed us, and we continued to search for him until night fell, when Elizabeth conjectured that he might have returned to the house. He was not there. We returned again with torches, for I could not rest. When I thought that my sweet boy had lost himself and was exposed to all the damps and dews of the night, Elizabeth also suffered extreme anguish. About 5 in the morning I discovered my lovely boy, whom the night before I had seen blooming and active in health, stretched on the grass, livid and motionless. The print of the murderer's finger was on his neck. He was conveyed home, and anguish that was visible in my countenance betrayed the secret to Elizabeth. She was very earnest to see the corpse. At first, I attempted to prevent her, but she persisted, and entering the room where it lay, hastily examined the neck of the victim, and clasping her hands, exclaimed, "Oh God, I have murdered my darling child." She fainted, and was restored with extreme difficulty. When she again lived, it was only to weep and sigh. She told me that same evening William had teased her to let him wear a very valuable miniature that she possessed of your mother. The picture is gone, and was doubtless the temptation which urged the murderer to the deed. We have no trace of him at present, though our exertions to discover him are unremitted, but they will not restore my beloved William. Come, dearest Victor, you alone can console Elizabeth. She weeps continuously and accuses herself unjustly as the cause of his death. Her words pierce my heart. We are all unhappy, but not that be an additional motive for you, my son, to return and be our comforter. Your dear mother, alas, Victor, I know say, thank God, she did not live to witness the cruel, miserable death of her youngest darling. Come, Victor, not brooding thoughts of vengeance against the assassin, but with feeling of peace and gentleness. That will heal, instead of festering, the wounds of our minds. Enter the house of mourning, my friend, but with kindness and affection for those you love, and not the hatred for your enemies. Your affectionate and afflicted father, Alphonse Frankenstein. Seven stream streak. Thank you for the stream streak. I'm gonna eat a cookie really quick. I've been staring at these cookies. Okay, one more, and then we'll keep reading. Thank you for the kiss. Speaking of, do I owe any redeems? Fabuki, thank you for being first. Bottoms, thank you for being second. And Boyd, thank you for being third. Golden, thank you for the cake. And we got a care package. So let's go ahead and let's do a quick care package. The creature claps back. Creature backs ass. I mean, if the monster, Frankenstein's monster, is the one that killed little William, the creature at this point is not even a year old, right? So in essence, it was most likely an accident. If you think about it in that way, right? So everybody sit up, tilt your head to the left. Hamster, welcome in, and tilt your head to the right. Look up. And look down. Sit up and drink some mama. I'm doing good, how are you? How's your night, hamster? All right. And continuing. Geneva, May 12th. Clerval, who had watched my countenance as I read this letter, was surprised to observe the despair that succeeded the joy I at first expressed on receiving news from my friends. I threw the letter on the table and covered my face with my hands. "Dear Frankenstein," claimed Henry when he perceived me weeping with bitterness, "are you always to be unhappy? My dear friend, what has happened?" I motioned him to take up the letter, while I walked up and down the room in the extremest agitation. Tears also gushed from the eyes of Serval as he read the account of my misfortune. "I can offer you no consolation, my friend," he said. "Your disaster is irreparable. What do you intend to do?" "To go instantly to Geneva. Come with me, Henry, to order the horses." Hi, Jarko! Welcome in. During our walk, Clerval endeavored to say a few words of consolation. He could only express his heartfelt sympathy. "Poor William," he said. "Dear, lovely child. He now sleeps with his angel mother, who that he had seen him bright and joyous in his young beauty, but must weep over his untimely loss. To die so miserably, to feel the murderer's grasp. How much more a murdered that could destroy radiant innocence. Poor little fellow. Only one consolation have we. His friends mourn and weep, but he is at rest. The pang is over. His suffering are at end forever. A sod covers his gentle form, and he knows no pain. We can no longer be a subject for pity. We must preserve that for his miserable survivors." Clerval spoke thus as we hurried through the streets. The words impressed themselves on my mind, and I remembered them afterwards in solitude, but now As soon as the horses arrived, I hurried into the cabriolet and bade farewell to my friends. Stay long. Enjoy your party. Hi, welcome, and thank you for the follow. My journey was very melancholy. Hi, Caesar, thank you for the follow. My journey was very melancholy. At first, I wished to hurry on, for I longed to console my sympathies with my loved and sorrowing friends, but when I drew near my native town, I slackened my progress. I could hardly sustain the multitude of feelings that crowded into my mind. I passed through scenes familiar to my youth, but which I had not seen for nearly 6 years. How altered everything might be during that time. One sudden and desolating change had taken place, but 1,000 little circumstances might have by degrees worked other alterations, which, although were done more tranquility, might not be the less decisive. Fear overcame me. I dared no advance, dreading 1,000 nameless evils that made me tremble, although I was unable to define them. I remained 2 days in Lausanne. In this painful state of mind, I contemplated the lake. The waters were placid, all around was calm, and the snowy mountains, places of nature, were not changed. By degrees the calm and heavenly scene restored me, and I continued my journey towards Geneva. The road ran by the side of a lake, which became narrower as I approached my native hometown. I discovered more distinctly the black sides of Jura and the bright summit of Mont Blanc. I wept like a child. Dear mountains, my own beautiful lake, how do you welcome your wanderer? Your summits are clear, the sky and lake are blue and placid. Is this to prognosticate peace, or to mock at my unhappiness? I fear, my friend, that I shall render myself tedious by dwelling on these preliminary circumstances, but they were days of comparative happiness, and I think of them with pleasure. My country was beloved country. But who but a native can tell the delight I took in again beholding my streams, thy mountains, and more than all, thy lovely lake? I hope it does the trick for you too, Caesar. Yeah, get nice and cozy. Thank you for the follow. I'm so sorry that happened. Yet, as I drew nearer home, grief and fear again overcame me. Night also closed around, and when I could hardly see the dark mountains, I felt still more gloominess. The picture appeared a vast, dim scene of evil, and I foresaw obscurely that I was destined to become the most wretched of human beings. Alas, I prophesied truly, and failed only in one single circumstance. That in all the misery I imagined and dreaded, I did not conceive the 100th part of the anguish I was destined to endure. I was completely dark when I arrived in the environs of Geneva. The gates of the town were already shut, and I was obligated to pass the night at Siren, a village in the distance of half a league from the city. The sky was serene, and as I was unable to rest, I resolved to visit the spot where my poor William had been murdered. As I could not pass through the town, I was obliged to cross the lake in a boat to arrive at Plainpalais. During the short voyage, I saw the lightning playing on the summit of Mont Blanc in the most beautiful figures. The storm appeared to approach rapidly, and on landing I ascended a low hill that I might observe its progress. It advanced, the heavens were clouded, and I soon felt the rain coming slowly in large drops, but its violence quickly increased. I quitted my seat and walked on, although the darkness and storm increased every minute. and the thunder burst with a terrific crash over my head. It was echoed from Salvine, the Joris, and the Alps of Savoy. Vivid flashes of lightning dazzled my eyes, illuminating the lake, making it appear like a vast sheet of fire. Then, for an instant, everything seemed of a pitchy darkness, until the eye recovered itself from the preceding flash. The storm, as is often the case of Switzerland, appeared at once in various parts of the heavens. The most violent storm hung exactly north of the town, over the part of the lake which lies between the promontory of Bellerive and the village of Coupet. Another storm enlightened Jura with the faintest flashes, and another darkened and sometimes disclosed the mole, a peaked mountain to the east of the lake. Hi, Gondolier, welcome in. While I watched the tempest so beautiful yet terrific, I wandered on with a hasty step. This noble war in the sky elevated my spirits. I clasped my hands and exclaimed aloud, "William, dear angel, this is thy funeral, this thy dirge." As I said these words, I perceived in the gloom a figure which stole from behind a clump of trees near me. I stood, fixed, gazing intently. I could not be mistaken. A flash of lightning illuminated the object and discovered its shape plainly to me. Its gigantic stature and the deformity of its aspect, more hideous than belongs to humanity, instantly informed me that it was the wretch, the filthy demon to whom I had given life. What did he do there? Could he be, I shuddered at the contemplation, the murderer of my brother? No sooner did that idea cross my imagination than I became convinced of its truth. My teeth clattered, and I was forced to lean against a tree for support. The figure passed me quickly, and I lost it in the gloom. Nothing in human shape could have destroyed the fair child. He was the murderer. I could not doubt it. The mere presence of the idea was an irresistible proof of the fact. I thought of pursuing the devil, but it would have been in vain, for another flash discovered him to me hanging among the rocks of the nearly perpendicular ascent of Mont Salvin, a hill that bounds Plain Palais on the south. He soon reached the summit and disappeared. I remained motionless. The thunder ceased, but the rain still continued, and the scene was enveloped in an impenetrable darkness. I revolved in my mind the events which I had until now sought to forget. The whole train of my progress towards the creation, the appearance of the works of my own hands at my bedside, its departure, 2 years now nearly elapsed since the night on which he first received life, and this, his first crime. Alas, I had turned loose into the world a depraved wretch whose weight was in carnage and whose delight was in carnage and misery. Had he not murdered my brother? No one can convince the anguish I suffered during a reminder of the night, which I spent cold and wet in the open air, but I did not feel the inconvenience of the weather. My imagination was busy in scenes of evil and despair. I considered the being whom I had cast among mankind, and endowed with the will and power to effect purpose of horror, such as the deed which he had now done. Nearly in the light of my own vampire, my own spirit, let loose from the grave and forced to destroy all that was dear to me. Day dawned, and I directed my steps towards the town. The gates were open, and I hastened to my father's house. My first thought was to discover what I had known of the murderer, the cause instant pursuit to be made. But I paused when I reflected on the story that I had to tell. a being whom I myself had formed and endued with life had met me at midnight among the precipices of an inaccessible mountain. I remembered also the nervous fever with which I had been seized just at the time that I dated my creation, and which would give an air of delirium to a tale otherwise so utterly improbable. I well knew that if any other had communicated such relation to me, I should have looked upon it as the ravings of insanity. Besides, the strange nature of the animal could elude all pursuit, even if I were so far-fetched, so far-credited as to persuade my relatives to commence it. And then of what use would be pursuit? Who could arrest a creature capable of scaling the overhanging sides of Mont Salive? These reflections determined me, and I resolved to remain silent. We have ads in about 30 seconds, so I'm going to take a pause there. Hi, Galadir. Hi, Fred. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Imagine 6 years away from home and you get a letter to find your sibling was murdered, only for it to be the creature that you created and abandoned. If you guys were in Victor Frankenstein's shoes, what would you do? Looks like ads are starting, guys. I can do a quick BRB and we'll get back into it when we return. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I took a little extra longer. There was a mosquito, talking about mosquitoes earlier, and I wanted to take care of it before I went to sleep, so I don't get bitten while I'm laying down. Because that always sucks. That always sucks. But, yeah. How's everybody tonight so far? Everybody having a good time? Excuse me, nice and cozy. Enjoying the story. Thank you for the care package earlier. Welcome back. Thank you. Great. Hi, Tom. Welcome in, welcome in. Honestly, when I read the part where Frankenstein read the letter that said that his brother William was murdered, I was like, it had to have been the creature. It had to have been Adam. Like, what else could it have been? Why mention it? Playing lively FIFA. I had a friend who was telling me that the games, the soccer games, they're almost over, right? I believe that the last of the World Cup soccer games are coming to a close soon, aren't they? I believe that's what I remember seeing somewhere. Which reminds me, I need to check out something. Ew, you say soccer? I mean, it's football del americano, I know that. What? Wait. How much are they now? How much are they now? Let's go here. Wait. Did they really go down in price? Let me see. Let me open. Give me. Oh, they did. Move to wish list. That is honestly, and that did too. That did too. Huh. Okay. I got that. I meant to do this earlier. Got that. Oh. It looks like the thing that you ordered for me, Valonia, was delivered, but I have to go. I might have to go out and check. It might be outside. Just literally sitting out there. Because I got curious and I was like, I should probably check that. I should probably look at that. 2 games left. Spain versus France. Hi, Moon. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you? Spain beat France. Oh, did they? Oh, yeah, look, I just checked right now my throne and it says that they were delivered. So on the next break, I will go out. On the next break, I will go out and I will take a look. The poor bear left out in the cold. Listen, I'm already going to be abusing them. Okay, we gotta start somewhere. Hi, Moon. How are you? How's your night? Today is ASMR night as well, but we're not doing like triggers and stuff like that. We're reading a book. So if you want to get nice and cozy, if you want to get nice and comfortable and relaxed and lay down, just listen. I'm just reading a book. We're reading Frankenstein. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. When she wrote the book, I believe she also didn't use her real name, right? She used a pen name. What was Mary Shelley's pen name? There it is. Yeah. Did not use a pen name. Oh, I thought she did. The first edition preface was written by her husband, Percy Bysshe Shelley, which led many earlier readers to mistakenly believe she was the author. However, modern stylometric analysis confirms that Mary Shelley wrote the novel. Oh, I see. So Mary Shelley wrote the book, but they used her husband's name. Got it. Got it. Okay. That kind of makes more sense. Knowing Mary Shelley the way that I do, at least to like some small degree, that makes much more sense for her. I was reading a bit about Mary Shelley herself last week. Really? What did you find? Anything interesting? Before we continue reading, I'm just taking a little bit of a breather just to kind of check on you guys. It was a couple later edition, not long after, that her real name was used as authorship. Which makes sense, which is actually really, really smart of her to do that, right? Especially during the time it was not well received for women to be writers, right? Okay. All right. Let me just do this. Do that. I could have sworn I added 2 things, did I not? I guess I did not. That's the other thing I needed to do, right? I remember. I remember now. Okay, Alright. I think I am all set to get back into the book. By a handful of real-life tragedies she experienced personally, a few famous contemporaries in her time in the scientific field, which makes sense, right? Everybody always says, write what you know, and write it well. Farland! Thank you for the kiss. Thank you. Biochemistry and bioelectricity, which makes sense. Okay, I think I am all set. Hi Kika! Welcome in. How are you? How's your night? Hope you're doing well. Hi Tav! Welcome in. How's your night? We are reading tonight some Frankenstein, so if you guys want to get nice and cozy and get comfortable while I read my book. How are you? I'm good. Hi. Just doing some Frankenstein reading tonight for some ASMR. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get back into the story, but welcome in. How are you all? If you guys would like to relax and take it easy while I read, please feel free to do so. I'm sorry, Tav. It was about 5 in the morning when I entered my father's house. I told the servants not to disturb the family and went into the library to attend their usual hour of rising. 6 years had elapsed, passed in a dream but for one indelible trace. I stood in the same place where I had last embraced my father before my departure for Ingolstadt. Beloved and venerable parent, he still remained to me. I gazed at the picture of my mother, which stood over the mantelpiece. It was an historical object painted at my father's desire, represented Caroline Beaufort in an agony of despair kneeling by the coffin of her dead father. Her garb was rustic and her cheek pale, but there was an air of dignity and beauty that hardly permitted the sentiment of pity. Below this picture was a miniature of William, and my tears flowed when I looked upon it. While I was thus engaged, Ernest entered. He had heard me arrive, and hastened to welcome me. "Welcome, dearest Victor," he said. "I wish you had come 3 months ago, and then you would have found us all joyous and delighted. You come to us now to share a misery which nothing can alleviate, yet your presence will, I hope, revive our father who seems sunken under his misfortune, and your persuasions will induce poor Elizabeth to cease her vain and tormenting self-accusations. Poor William, he was our darling and our principal. Serena! Hi, Serena! Welcome in, how are you, lovely? Welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome to Fever Cafe. I'm Mukia. I'm a siren with a necrotic affliction, and I run a cafe. If you guys would like a drink, we could do tea, boba, coffee, hot cocoa. However, the cake is extra. How was your stream? You were playing some, I think it's a Drink Daddy, didn't it? How was Drink Daddy? How did it go? Hopefully you had fun. Let me lower the music a little bit. I feel like I'm like yelling over it. But welcome in. Izuma! I saw you were reading and flew over. Yes. We're reading Frankenstein tonight. We are reading the great literary classic of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. From Serena Succubus. Hi. Better be taking care of yourselves. We are. Welcome in. Izuma. Hi. How are you? And Marcia Victory too. Thank you for the follow. Do you like my reading streams, or do you just like reading in general, Serena? It's good so far. I've played it before, but I haven't beaten it, so I'm doing that time. I'm doing that this time for sure. For sure. You got this. I believe in you. But Serena, if you need to raid and run, I understand. But if you'd like to lurk and hang out, you're more than welcome to. Just make sure to do your after stream care. Eat food, drink water, drink wawa. Take a shower, whatever it is you need to do for yourself. But if you'd like to lurk and hang out, please take this time to get nice and cozy, get yourself a drink, maybe get comfortable in bed and just lay back and relax. Streaming could be a lot of social battery taken up. So if you want to just lurk, you're obviously more than welcome to. You have a soothing voice, and I also want to raid to a calm stream. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, especially on reading night. Reading night is one of my favorite times of the week. I love streaming with you guys in general, with and to you guys in general, but I love the reading streams in particular. I just think they have one, I get to read books that I really wanted to read, and two, I get to read to you guys. It's like two birds, one stone, you know? But thank you again so much for the raid. Thank you. Okay. We are on chapter 7. If anyone would like to join us, you can do ! book and get the link that way. And like I said, right here you can see we're on chapter 7. Tears, unrestrained, fell from my brother's eyes. A sense of mortal agony crept over my frame. Before, I had only imagined the wretchedness of my desolated home. The reality came on me as a new and a not less terrible disaster. I tried to calm Ernest. I inquired more minutely concerning my father, and here I named my cousin. She, most of all, said Ernest, requires consolation. She accused herself of having caused the death of my brother, and that made her very wretched. But since the murderer has been discovered... The murderer discovered? Good God, how can that be? Who could attempt to pursue him? It's impossible. One might as well try to overtake the winds or confine a mountain stream with a straw. I saw him too. He was free last night. I do not know what you mean, replied my brother, in accents of wonder, but to us the discovery we have made completes our misery. No one would believe it at first, and even now Elizabeth will not be convinced, notwithstanding all the evidence. Indeed, who would credit that Justine Moritz, who was so amiable and fond of the family, could suddenly become so capable of so frightful, so appalling a crime? Justine Moritz? Poor girl, is she the accused? But it is wrongful. Everyone knows that. No one believes it, surely, Ernest. No one did at first, but several circumstances came out that have almost forced convictions upon us, and her own behaviour has been so confused as to add to the evidence of facts that weighed that night. I fear leaves to hope for doubt, no hope for doubt. But she will be tried today, and you will then hear all. He then related that the morning on which the murder of poor William had been discovered, Justine had taken ill. Hello! Hi, hello! How are you? Welcome in, have a good lurk. And confined to her bed for several days. During this interval, one of the servants happened to examine the apparel she had worn on the night of the murder and discovered in her pocket the picture of my mother, which had been judged to be the temptation of the murderer. The servant instantly showed it to one of the others, who, without saying a word to any of the family, went to a magistrate, and upon their deposition, Justine was apprehended. On being charged with the fact, the poor girl confirmed the suspicion in a great measure by her extreme confusion of manner. This was a strange tale, but it did not shake my faith, and I replied earnestly, "You are all mistaken. I know the murderer, poor Justine. Good Justine is innocent." At that instant, my father entered. I saw unhappiness deeply impressed on his countenance, but he endeavoured to welcome me cheerfully, and, after we had exchanged our mournful greeting, would have introduced some other topic than that of our disaster, had not Ernest exclaimed, "Good God, Papa, Victor says that he knows who was the murderer of poor William." "We do also, unfortunately," replied my father, "for indeed I had rather have been forever ignorant of her than have discovered so much depravity and ingratitude in one I valued so highly. My dear father, you are mistaken. Justine is innocent. If she is, God forbid that she should suffer as she should suffer as guilty. She is to be tried today, and I sincerely hope that she will be acquitted." This speech calmed me. I was firmly convinced in my own mind that Justine, and indeed every human being, was guiltless of this murder. I had no fear, therefore, that any circumstantial evidence could be brought forward strong enough to convict her. My tale was not one to announce publicly. Its astounding horror would be the look upon its madness by the vulgar. Did anyone indeed exist, except I, the Creator, who would believe, unless his senses convinced him, in the existence of the living monument of presumption and rash ignorance which I had let loose upon the world? We were soon joined by Elizabeth. Time had altered her since I last beheld her, and had endowed her with such loveliness surpassing the beauty of her childish years. There was the same candour, the same vivacity, but it was allied to an expression of more full of sensibility and intellect. She welcomed me with the greatest affection. "Your arrival, my dear cousin," she said, "fills me with hope. You perhaps will find some means to justify my poor guiltless Justine. Alas, who is safe if she be convicted of crime? I rely on her innocence as certainty, as I do upon my own. Our misfortune is doubtlessly hard to us. We have not only lost that lovely darling boy, but this poor girl, whom I sincerely love, is to be torn away by even a worse fate. If she is condemned, I never shall know joy more. But she will not. I am sure she will not. And then I shall be happy again, even after the sad death of my little William." "She is innocent, my Elizabeth," I said, "and that shall be proven. Fear nothing, but let your spirits be cheered by the assurances of her acquittal." "How kind and generous you are! Everyone else believes her guilt, and that made me wretched, for I knew that it was impossible, and to see everyone else prejudiced in so deadly a manner rendered me hopeless and despairing." She wept. "Dearest niece," my father said, "dry your tears. If she is, as you believe, innocent, rely on the justice of our laws, and the activity with which I shall prevent the slightest shadow of partiality." What do you guys think? Do you think Justine is the one that killed the little boy? Because what they're describing, right, is Justine is one of the servants of the household, of the Frankenstein household. And a couple nights ago, before William was found dead on the grounds of the estate, she was very sick to the point where, like, she was delirious and confused. But one of the servants who went to go check on Justine after William was found dead not only found the portrait, or the locket, because William was wearing a locket with a picture of his mom in the locket. They found the picture in Justine's clothes, but also they were like dirtied as if she was outside. But if she was so bedridden, why was she outside? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like either she did it or she went outside and unfortunately found the little portrait of the old madam, Victor's mom, who passed away. I don't know. I want to believe that it was Justine over the creature, but it's really hard to say, you know, because the creature in and of themselves at this moment, like, would have no cause other than to basically try to hurt Frankenstein himself. But why would the monster want to do that? You know what I mean? Unless it's the childish assumption that, like, if there is no one else for Victor to love, if they're all, like, taken away, then would Victor accept his own creation? I want to say no. I don't think Victor would accept his own creation under that circumstance, but I mean, I wouldn't. I would hate the creature even more if I was, like, in that situation. Food for thought, food for thought. Okay. Let's keep reading. We are now on chapter 8. Oh, I need to stretch out my back. Okay, stretch break. Duh. Oh my goodness. Stretch break, stretch break. Okay. Oh, that felt so good. Marshy Victory, thank you for the follows. If I already didn't say thank you earlier, thank you so much. Okay. Alright. We are on chapter 8 now. I did update it. Good, good, good. Okay. Chapter 8. We passed a few sad hours until 11 o'clock. Oh wait, I just had an idea. I liked this one. We didn't really get to listen to it yesterday. Another small adjustment for myself. There it is. Okay. Chapter 8. We passed a few set hours until 11 o'clock, when the trial was to commence. Hi, Vigidler Kono. My father and the rest of the family being obliged to attend as witnesses. I accompanied them to the court. During the whole of this wretched mockery of justice, I suffered living torture. I was to be decided whether the result of my curiosity and the lawless devices would cause the death of two of my fellow beings, one a smiling babe full of innocence and joy, the other far more dreadfully murdered, with every aggravation of infamy that could make the murder memorable in honor. With every aggravation of infamy that could make the murderer memorable in horror. Justine also was a girl of merit and possessed qualities which promised to render her a life happy. Now all was to be obliterated in an ignominious grave, and I the cause. 1,000 times rather I would have confessed myself guilty of the crime ascribed to Justine, but I was absent when it was commenced, and such a declaration would have been considered as the ravings of a madman. I would not have exculpated her who suffered through me. Do you understand the book? Honestly, same. When it comes to reading, sometimes I could read a book and not really understand what's going on, what's being said, but if somebody reads it to me more often, I'll understand what's being said, what they're saying, right? So I'm the same, Marsh. Jacob, hi Jacob, welcome in. Sorry, Jacoby? Is it Jacoby? Not Jacob, right? It's Jacoby. I was like, there's an I there, so it's Jacoby, isn't it? Yeah. Welcome in, Jacoby. Welcome in, welcome in. The appearance of Justine was calm. She was dressed in mourning, and her countenance, always engaging, was rendered by the solemnity of her feelings exquisitely beautiful. Yet she appeared confident in innocence and did not tremble, although gazed on and execrated by thousands, for all the kindness which her beauty might otherwise have excited was obliterated in the minds of the spectators by imagination of the enormity she was supposed to have committed. She was tranquil, yet her tranquillity was evidently constrained, and her confusion had before been adduced as proof of her guilt. She worked up her mind to an appearance of courage. When she entered the court, she threw her eyes round it, quickly discovering where we were seated. A tear streamed to dim her eyes when she saw us, but she quickly recovered herself, and a look of sorrowful affection seemed to attest her utter guiltlessness. The trial began, and after the advocate against her had stated the charge, several witnesses were called. Several strange facts combined against her, which might have staggered anyone who had not such proof of her innocence as I had. She had been out the whole of the night on which the murder had been committed, and towards morning had been perceived by a market woman not far from the spot where the body of the murdered child had been afterwards. The woman asked her what she did there, and she looked very strangely and only returned a confused and unintelligible answer. She returned to the house about 8 o'clock, and when one inquired where she had passed the night, she replied that she had been looking for the child and demanded earnestly if anything had been heard concerning him. When shown the body, she fell into violent hysterics and kept her bed for several days. The picture was then produced, which the servant had found in her pocket, and when Elizabeth, in a faltering voice, proved that it was the same which an hour before the child had been missed, she had placed round his neck, a murmur of horror and indignation filled the court. Justine was called on her defence. As the trial then proceeded, her countenance had altered. Surprise, horror, and misery were strongly expressed. Sometimes she struggled with her tears, but when she was desired to plead, she collected her powers and spoke in an audible, although variable voice. God knows, she said, how entirely I am innocent, but I do not pretend that my protestations should acquit me. I rest my innocence on a plain and simple explanation of the facts which had been adduced against me, and I hope the character I have always borne will incline my judges to a favourable interpretation where any circumstances appear doubtful or suspicious. She then related that, by the permission of Elizabeth, she had passed the evening of the night on which the murder had been committed at the house of an aunt at Chenay, a village situated about a league from Geneva. On her return, about 9 o'clock, she met a man who asked her if she had seen anything of the child who was lost. She was alarmed by this account and passed several hours in looking for him when the gates of Geneva were shut, and she was forced to remain several hours of the night in the barn belonging to a cottage, being unwilling to call up the inhabitants, to whom she was well known. Most of the night she spent here watching. Towards morning she believed that she slept for a few minutes. Some steps disturbed her, and she awoke. It was dawn, and she quitted her asylum, that she might again endeavour to find my brother. If she had gone near the spot where his body lay, it was without her knowledge. That she had been bewildered when questioned by the market woman was not surprising, since she had passed a sleepless night, and the fate of poor William was uncertain. Concerning the picture, she could give no account. I know, continued the unhappy victim, how heavily and fatally this one circumstance weighs against me, but I have no power of explaining it, and when I have expressed my utter ignorance, I am only left with the conjecture concerning the probabilities by which it might have been placed in my pocket. But here also I am checked. I believe that I have no enemy on earth, and none surely would have been so wicked as to destroy me wantonly. Did the murderer place it there? I know of no opportunity afforded him for so doing. Or, if I had, why should he have stolen the jewel to part with it again so soon? I commit my case to the justice of my judges, yet I see no room for hope. I begin permission to have a few witnesses examined concerning my character, and if their testimony shall not overweigh my supposed guilt, I must be condemned, although I would pledge my salvation on my innocence. Several witnesses were called to whom have known her for many years, and they spoke well of her, but fear and hatred of the crime of which they supposed her guilty rendered them timorous and unwilling to come forward. Elizabeth saw even this last resource, her excellent disposition and irreproachable conduct, about to fail the accused when, although violently agitated, she desired permission to address the court. I am, she said, the cousin of the unhappy child who was murdered, or rather, his sister, for I was educated by and have lived with his parents ever since, and even long before his birth. It may therefore be judged indecent in me to come forward on this occasion, but when I see a fellow creature about to perish through the cowardice of her pretended friends, I wish to be allowed to speak, that I may say what I know of her character. I am well acquainted with the accused. I have lived in the same house with her at one time, for 5 and another for nearly 2 years. During all that period, she appeared to me the most amiable and benevolent of human creatures. She nursed Madame Frankenstein, my aunt, in her last illness, with the greatest affection and care, and afterwards attended her own mother during a tedious illness, in a manner that excited the admiration of all who knew her. After which, she again lived at my uncle's house, where she was beloved by the family. She was warmly attached to the child who is now dead, and acted towards him like a most affectionate mother. For my own part, I do not hesitate to say that, notwithstanding all the evidence produced against her, I believe and rely on her perfect innocence. She had no temptation for such an action. As to the bauble of which the chief proof rests, if she had earnestly desired it, I should have willingly given it to her. So much do I esteem and value her. The murmur of approbation followed Elizabeth's simple and powerful appeal, but it was excited by her generous interference, and not in favour of poor Justine, on whom the public indignation was turned with renewed violence, charging her with the blackest ingratitude. She herself wept as Elizabeth spoke, but she did not answer. My own agitation and anguish was extreme during the whole trial. I believed in her innocence. I knew it. Could the demon who had, I did not for a minute doubt, murdered my brother, also in his hellish sport have been betrayed the innocent to death and ignominy, I could not sustain the horror of my situation, and when I perceived that the popular voice and the countenances of the judges had already condemned my unhappy victim, I rushed out of the court in agony. The tortures of the accused did not equal mine. She was sustained by violence, but the fangs of remorse tore my bosom and would not forego their hold. I passed a night of unmingled wretchedness. In the morning I went to the court. My lips and throat were parched. I dared not ask the fatal question, but I was known, and the officer guessed the cause of my visit. The ballots had been thrown. They were all black, and Justine was condemned. I cannot pretend to describe what I felt then. I had before experienced sensations of horror, and I had endeavoured to bestow upon them adequate expressions, but words cannot convey an idea in the heart-sickening despair that I then endured. The person to whom I addressed myself added that Justine had already confessed to her guilt. That evidence, he observed, was hardly required in so glaring a case, but I'm glad of it, and instead, none of our judges like to condemn a criminal upon circumstantial evidence, be it ever so decisive. This was strange and unexpected intelligence. What could it mean? Had my eyes deceived me? And was I really as mad as the whole world would believe me to be if I disclosed the object of my suspicions? I hastened to return home, and Elizabeth eagerly demanded the result. My cousin, I replied, it is decided, as you may have expected. All judges had rather than 10 innocent should suffer than the one guilty should escape. But she had confessed. She had confessed. This was a dire blow to poor Elizabeth, who had relied with firmness upon Justine's innocence. Alas, said she, how shall I ever believe in human goodness? Justine, who I am loved, esteemed as my sister, how could she put on those smiles of innocence, only to betray? Her mild eyes seemed incapable of any severity or guile, and yet, she has committed murder. Soon after we heard that the poor victim had expressed a desire to see my cousin. My father wished her not to go, but said that he left it to her own judgment and feelings to decide. Yes, said Elizabeth, I will go, although she is guilty, and you, Victor, shall accompany me. I cannot go alone. The idea of this visit was to torment me, yet I could not refuse. Goldie, hi, beautiful. Love you too. We entered the gloomy prison chamber and beheld Justine sitting on some straw at the farther end. Her hands were manacled. And her head rested on her knees. She rose on seeing us enter, and when we were left alone with her, she threw herself at the feet of Elizabeth, weeping bitterly. My cousin wept also. "Ah, Justine," said she, "why did you rob me of my last consolation? I relied on your innocence, and although I was then very wretched, I am not so miserable as I am now. And do you also believe that I am so very, very wicked? Do you also join with my enemies to crush me, to condemn me as a murderer?" Her voice was suffocated with sobs. "Rise, my poor girl," Elizabeth said. "Why do you kneel, if you are innocent? I am not one of your enemies. I believed you guiltless, notwithstanding every evidence, until I heard that you had yourself declared your guilt. That report, you say, is false, and be assured, dear Justine, that nothing can shake my confidences in you for a moment but your own confession. I did confess, but I confessed a lie. I confessed that I might obtain absolution, but now that falsehood lies heavier at my heart than all my other sins. The God of heaven forgive me. Ever since I was condemned, my confessor has besieged me. He threatened and menaced until I almost began to think that I was the monster that he said I was. He threatened excommunication and hellfire in my last moments if I continued obdurate. Dear lady, I had none to support me. All looked on me as a wretched doomed to ignominy and perdition. What could I do? In an evil hour I subscribed to a lie, and now only I, truly miserable." She paused, weeping, and then continued. Good. Tune out your brain. Sometimes it's good to just kind of turn it off. Right, Ako? Akorlin? Akorlin? She paused, weeping, and then continued. "I thought with horror, my sweet lady, that you should believe your Justine, whom your blessed aunt had so highly honoured, and whom you loved, was a creature capable of a crime, which none but the devil himself could have perpetuated. Dear William, dearest blessed child, I soon shall see you again in heaven, where we shall all be happy, and that consoles me, going as I am to suffer ignominy and death. Oh, Justine, forgive me for having for one moment distrusted you. Why did you confess? But do not mourn, dear girl, do not fear. I will proclaim, I will prove your innocence. I will melt the stony hearts of your enemies by my tears and prayers. You shall not die. You, my playfellow, my companion, my sister, perish on the scaffold. No, I never could survive so horrible a misfortune." Justine shook her head mournfully. I do not fear to die," she said. "That pang is past. God rises my weakness and gives me courage to endure the worst. I leave a sad and bitter world, and if you remember me and think of me as one unjustly condemned, I am resigned to the fate awaiting me. Learn from me, dear lady, to submit in patience the will of heaven." During this conversation, I had retired to a corner of the prison room, where I could conceal the horrid anguish that possessed me. Despair. Who dared talk of that? The poor victim, who on the morrow was to pass the awful boundary between life and death, felt not, as I did, such deep and bitter agony. I gnashed my teeth. I ground them together, uttering a groan that came from my inmost soul. Justine started. When she saw who it was, she approached me and said, "Dear sir, you are very kind to visit me. You, I hope, do not believe that I am guilty." I could not answer. "No, Justine," said Elizabeth, He is more convinced of your innocence than I was, for even when he heard that you had confessed, he did not credit it. I truly thank him. In these last moments, I feel the sincerest gratitude towards those who think of me with kindness. How sweet is the affection of others to such a wretch as I am. It removes more than half my misfortune, and I feel as if I could die in peace now that my innocence acknowledged by you, dear lady, and your cousin. Thus the poor sufferer tried to comfort others and herself. She indeed gained the resignation she desired, but I, the true murderer, felt the never-dying worm alive in my bosom, which allowed excuse me, which allowed of no hope or consolation. Elizabeth also wept and was unhappy, but hers also was the misery of innocence, which, like a hell within me which could not extinguish, we stayed several hours with Justine, and it was with great difficulty that Elizabeth could tear herself away. I wish, she cried, I wish that I were to die with you. I cannot live in this world of misery. Justine assumed an air of cheerfulness, while she with difficulty repressed her bitter tears. She embraced Elizabeth and said in a voice half suppressed emotion, "Farewell, sweet lady, dearest Elizabeth, my beloved and only friend. May heaven in its bounty bless and preserve you. May this be the last misfortune that you will ever suffer. Live and be happy, and make others so." And on the morrow, Justine died. Elizabeth's heart-rended eloquence failed to move the judges from their settled conviction in the criminality of the saintly sufferer. My passionate and indignant appeals were lost upon them, and when I received their cold answers and heard the harsh, unfeeling resonating of these men, my purposed avowal died away on my lips. Thus I might proclaim myself a madman, but not revoke the sentence passed upon my wretched victim. She perished on the scaffold as a murderess. From the tortures of my own heart, I turned to contemplate the deep and voiceless grief of my Elizabeth. This also was my doing, and my father's woe, and the dissolution of that late so smiling home, all was the work of my thrice accused hands. Ye weep, unhappy ones, but these are not your last tears. Again shall you rise to the funeral wail, and the sound of your lamentation shall again and again be heard. Frankenstein, your son, your kinsman, your early, much-loved friend, he whom could spend each vital drop of blood for your sakes, who has no thought, nor sense, nor joy except as is mirrored also in your dear countenances, who would fill the air with blessings and spend his life in serving you. He bids you weep, to shed countless tears, happy beyond his hopes, if thus an inexorable fate be satisfied, and if the destruction pause before the peace of the grave have succeeded in your sad torments. Thus spoke my prophetic soul, as torn by remorse, horror, and despair, I beheld those I love spend vain sorrows upon the graves of William and Justine, the first hapless victims to my unhallowed arts. Good morning, Pinoy. Playing a game, having this and playing in the back. Are you? What are you playing? What are you playing, March? Thank you for the TCG. Thank you for the forehead kiss, Fubuki. Just want to say I very much enjoyed just listening to you read. I love reading to you guys. I think reading is one of my favorite things. I love reading, and being able to read to you guys is like the best. Hi, David. Welcome in, David. David Cole, hi. Michael, thank you for the head pat. Thank you, thank you. Michael, hi. You're Michael, hi. What does kohai mean again? Like younger, like younger student, something like that. Hi, junior. That's the word. Younger junior. Yeah. You have a good sleep, kohai. Get some good rest. We are reading some Frankenstein tonight, and we are in chapter 9. So if you just want to relax, close your eyes, get some sleep, you're more than welcome to. Hi, Moon. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a breather, do some stretches. Oh, because I stop moving when I read. Oh, so I need to take time to stretch a bit. Oh my goodness. To fall asleep too? Yeah, I hope you do. I hope you do get some good rest. Okay. As in good water. Lots of good water. Oh, are we gonna get ads soon? Looks like we're gonna have ads in about 40 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run the ads now, just so that we can start chapter 9 on a fresh hour. Okay? So I will be right back after these 3-minute ads. Be right back. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back. Did everybody stand up? Did everybody do a little bit of stretching? Maybe you guys got yourself a little drink. I literally did nothing. Let me see. Let me see how many chapters we've done so far. We have done 6, 7, 8. We have done 3 chapters so far. Oh my gosh. That's actually a lot. That's a lot of reading for one day. Let me see. How long is chapter 9? I think after chapter 9, we'll probably call it a night, even if we end it a little bit early. I don't want to do too many chapters in a single night. Cracked my neck pretty good and that woke me up. Good. Yes. Okay, Pinoy. Baby. Pookie Bear. Sit up. Tilt your head to the left. You like the BG? And tilt your head to the right. Everybody should be doing this. Please, please do this with me. Look up. And look down. Stretch your neck out if you need to. Tim Pinoy. Pinoy's a good boy. Ooh, sit up and drink some water. Slam dude, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. The BG. So actually, I can send you the link to this one, Shizu, if you like this. I got this from Rahura. I think that's how you say that name. Rahura. Let me. R-A-H-U-R-A. Rahura. Rahura. Let me get their link for you. Rahura. There they are. This is, if you guys like the music, this is Rahura. They are the person who composed the music. This one is let me double check. This one is, what does he call this one? Meteor Night. The way he names them, they're all like kawaii BGM. It's one of those. It's one of the ones you might. A lot of them are free, so you can kind of just like go through this and try and find it. Yeah, a lot of them are just called kawaii or chill, so I cannot pinpoint the exact one this is, but that's the composer, that's the person who wrote the song. Hey, what? Pinoy, you can be a good boy. Should be listening again in the background. No more work for me, yay. Yay, no more work. No more work. Good job, good job. Stop. Nope. Pinoy, you're my good boy, right? My good Pookie Bear. My sweet and tasty good boy. Good boy, Pinoy. I'll be nice. I'll stop there after that. Alright. We are on chapter 9, so if you guys would like to join us, you can do exclamation point book and get the link that way. Otherwise, you can just settle in, get nice and cozy. Your voice is so nice. I'm glad you like my voice, Marsh. I'm gonna lower the music just a tiny bit while we're reading, because I feel like I'm really, really quiet right now. Like, really, really quiet. Hold on. Let me do something. Go over here. I'm gonna raise this a little bit to about there. And that should maybe help? That attack. I guess you could. I guess you could take a couple breaths. I think you deserve them, yeah. Okay. I think that should be good. If I start getting really quiet again, let me know and I will go ahead and I will adjust my mic settings again. Jealous I'm still at work? You're still at work? Oh my goodness. Severus! Hi Severus, have a good lurk. I'll be free from work and rest. Oh wait, is Ponoi at work right now? Wait, Ponoi? Are you working right now? I have 1 hour and 9 minutes left of work. Okay, well I don't know if I can do like the full, you know, an hour and 9. I don't know if I can do a full hour 9, but I definitely can do some of that time. You know, because we're going to read chapter 9, and if it only takes me 20 minutes, then we'll probably still call it a night there, but... Oh, Panoi is not. I'm replying to Jacob. Oh, that's what you mean. You can keep attacking Panoi with more of what you have been doing, miss. Okay, I'll keep attacking him. That sounds like a flare plan. So you want me to just lean in and say, Panoi, I need a new chair. Would you count me? You can be my new seat. I'll sit on your lap. I'll read a story. And I'll run my nails through your hair while I read. What do you think? Does this sound like a new deal? I'm so mean. I'm so mean. I'll be good. We'll be hive. We'll be hive. Unrelated, but I just remembered. Permanent change. GG. To the daily. I don't know. He loves it. I need a break. Okay, alright. Your break will be me reading this next chapter. How about that? I'll give you this chapter. Also, really quick, let me... Okay. Let me get back into the book. Chapter 9. Nothing is more painful to the human mind than, after the feeling having been worked up by a quick succession of events, the dead calmness of inaction and certainty which follows and deprives the soul both of hope and fear. Justine died, she rested, and I was alive. The blood flowing freely in my veins, but a weight of despair and remorse pressed on my heart, which nothing could remove. Sleep fled from my eyes. I wandered like an evil spirit, for I had committed deeds of mischief beyond description, horrible, and more, much more, I persuaded myself, was yet behind. Yet my heart overflowed with kindness and the love of virtue. I had begun life with benevolent intentions and thirst for the moment when I should put them in practice and make myself useful to my fellow beings. Now all was blasted. Instead of that serenity of consciousness which allowed me to look back on the past with self-satisfaction and from thence to gather promise of new hopes, I was seized by remorse and the sense of guilt, which hurried me away to a hell of intense tortures, such as no language can describe. This state of mind preyed upon my health, which had perhaps never entirely recovered from the first shock it had sustained. I shunned the face of man. All sound of my joy and complacency was torture to me. Solitude was my only consolation. Deep, dark, death-like solitude. My father observed with pain the alteration perceptible in my disposition and in habits that endeavored by arguments deduced from the feeling of his serene, conscious, and guiltless life to inspire me with fortitude and awaken me to the courage to dispel the dark clouds which brooded over me. That is a long run-on sentence. I'm sorry. Whew. Do you think, Victor, he said, that I do not suffer also? No one could love a child more than I loved your brother. Tears came into his eyes as he spoke, but it is not a duty to the survivors that we should refrain from augmenting our unhappiness by an appearance of immoderate grief. It is a duty owed to yourself, for excessive sorrow prevents improvement or enjoyment. I lost where I was, or even the discharge of daily usefulness, without which no man is fit for society. This advice, although good, was totally inapplicable to my case. I should have been the first to hide my grief and console my friends if remorse had not mingled its bitterness, and terror its alarm. With my other sensations now, I should only answer my father with a look of despair and endeavour to hide myself from his view. About this time we returned to our house in Belviere. This change was particularly agreeable to me. The shuttering of the gates regularly at 10 o'clock and the impossibility of remaining on the lake after that hour had rendered our residences within the walls of Geneva very irksome to me. I was now free. Often, after the rest of the family had retired for the night, I took the boat and passed many hours upon the water. Sometimes with my sail set, I carried by the wind, and sometimes, after rowing into the middle of the lake, I left the boat to pursue its own course and gave way to my own miserable reflections. I was often tempted when all was at peace around me, and I, the only unquiet thing that wandered restless in a scene so beautiful and heavy. If I except some bat or the frogs, whose harsh and interrupted croaking was heard only when I approached the shore, often, I say, I was tempted to plunge into the silent lake, that the waters might close over me and my calamities forever. But I was restrained. When I thought of the heroic and suffering Elizabeth, whom I tenderly loved, and whose existence was bound up into mine, I thought also of my father and surviving brother. Should I, by my base desertion, leave them exposed and unprotected to the malice of the fiend whom I had let loose among them? At these moments I wept bitterly and wished that peace would revisit my mind, only that I might afford them consolation and happiness. But that could not be. Remorse extinguished every hope. I had been the author of unalterable evils, and I lived in daily fear lest the monster whom I had created should perpetuate some new wickedness. I had an obscure feeling that all was not well, that all was not over, and that he would still commit some signal crime, which by its enormity should almost efface the recollection of the past. There was always hope for fear so long as anything I loved remained behind. My abhorrence of this fiend cannot be conceived. When I thought of him, I gnashed my teeth, my eyes became inflamed, and I ardently wished to extinguish that life which I had so thoughtlessly bestowed. That scared the shit out of me. There we go. Okay. When I reflected on his crimes and malice, my hatred and revenge burst all bounds of moderation. I would have made a pilgrimage to the highest peak of the Andes, could I, when there, have precipitated him to their base. I wished to see him again, that I might wreak the utmost extent of abhorrence on his head and avenge the death of William and Justine. Our house was the house of mourning. My father's health was deeply shaken by the horror of the recent events. Elizabeth was sad and despondent. She no longer took delight in her ordinary occupations. All pleasure seemed to her sacrilege towards the dead. Eternal woe and tears she then thought was the just tribute she should pay to innocence so blasted and destroyed. She was no longer that happy creature who in earlier youth wandered with me with the banks of our lake and talked with ecstasy of our future prospects. The first of those sorrows which are sent to wean us from the earth had visited her, and its dimming influence quenched her dearest smiles. Hi, Ethel. Welcome in, welcome in. Hi, Viking. How are you? Hi, Zivu. When I reflect, dear cousin, said she, on the miserable death of Justine Moritz, I no longer see the world and its works as they before appeared to me. Before, I looked upon the accounts of vice and injustice that I read in books or heard from others as tales of ancient days or imaginary evils. At least they were remote and more familiar to reason than the imagination. But now misery has come home, and men appear to be as monsters thirsting for each other's blood. And I'm certainly unjust. Everybody believed that poor girl to be guilty, and if she could have committed the crime for which she suffered, assuredly she would have been the most depraved of human creatures. For the sake of a fine jewel, to have murdered the son of her benefactor and friend, a child whom she had nursed from its birth, I appeared to love, and appeared to love as if it had been her own. I could not consent to the death of any human being, but certainly I should have thought such a creature unfit to remain in the society of men. But she was innocent. I know, I feel she was innocent. You are of the same opinion, and that confirms me. Alas, Victor, when falsehood can look so like the truth, who can assure themselves of certain happiness? I feel as if I were walking on the edge of a precipice, towards which thousands are crowding and endeavouring to plunge me into the abyss. William and Justine are assassinated, and the murderer escapes. He walks about the world, free, perhaps respected, but even if I were condemned to suffer in the scaffolding for the same crimes, I would not change places with such a wretch. I listened to this discourse with my extremest agony. I, not indeed, but in effect, was the true murderer. Elizabeth read my anguish in my countenance, and kindly taking my hand said, "My dearest friend, you must calm yourself. These events have affected me, God knows how deeply, but I'm not so wretched as you are. Remember, there is an expression of despair, and sometimes of revenge in your countenance that makes me trouble. Dear Victor, banish these dark passions. Remember the friends around you whom centre all their hopes in you. You have lost the power of rendering you happy. While we love, while we are true to each other there in this land of peace and beauty, your native country, we may reap everything tranquil blessings. What can disturb our peace?" And could not such words from her whom I fondly prize before every other gift of fortune suffice to chase away the fiend that lurked in my heart? Even as she spoke, I drew nearer to her, as if in terror, lest at that very moment the destroyer that had been near to rob me of her Thus, not the tenderness of her friendship, nor the beauty of earth, nor of heaven could redeem my soul from woe. The very accents of love were ineffectual. I was encompassed by a cloud with no beneficial influence could penetrate, the wounded deer dragging its fainting limbs to some untrodden brake, there to gaze upon the arrow which had pierced it, and to die was but a type of me. Excuse me. Sometimes I could cope with the sullen despair that overwhelmed me, but sometimes the whirlwind passions of my soul drove me to seek by bodily exercise, and by change of pace some relief from my intolerable sensations. It was during an access of this kind that I suddenly left my home, and bending my steps towards the near alpine valleys, sought in the magnificence, the eternity of such scenes to forget myself and my ephemeral to forget myself and my ephemeral because human sorrows. My wanderings were directed towards the valley of Chamonix. I had visited it frequently during my boyhood. 6 years had passed since then. I was a wreck, but naught had changed in those savages and enduring scenes. I performed the first part of my journey on horseback. I afterwards hired a mule, as the more sure-footed and least liable to receive injury on these rugged roads. The weather was fine. It was about the middle of the month of August, nearly 2 months after the death of Justine, that miserable epoch from which I dated all my woe. The weight upon my spirit was sensibly lightened as I plunged yet deeper into the ravine of the Arve. The immense mountains and precipices that overhung me on every side, the sound of the river raging amongst the rocks, and the dashing of the waterfalls around spoke of a power mighty as omnipotence, or omnipotence. I don't know exactly who says it that way, but whatever. And I ceased to fear or to bend before any being less mighty than that which had created and ruled the elements, here displayed in their most terrific guise. Still, as I ascended higher, the valley assumed a more magnificent and astounding character. Ruined castles hanging on the precipices of piney mountains, the impetuous Arve, the cottages every here and there peeping forth from among the trees, formed a scene of singular beauty. But it was augmented and rendered sublime by the mighty Alps, whose white and shining pyramids and domes towered above all, belonging to another earth, the inhabitations of another race of beings. I passed the bridge Pelisner, where the ravine which the river forms opens before me, and I began to ascend the mountains that overhangs it. Soon after, I entered the valley of Chamonix. This valley is more wonderful and sublime, but not so beautiful and picturesque as that of Cerveau, the which I had just passed. The high and snowy mountains were as immediate boundaries, but I saw no more ruined castles and fertile fields. Immense glaciers approached the road. I heard the rumbling thunder of the falling avalanche, and marked the smoke of its passage. Mount Blanc, the supreme and magnificent Mount Blanc, raised itself from the surrounding Aiguilles, and its tremendous dome overlooked the valley. A tingling, long-lost sense of pleasure often came across me during this journey. some turn in the road, some new object suddenly perceived and recognized, reminded me of days gone by, and were associated with the light-hearted gaiety of boyhood. Omnipotence. You say omnipotence? I've only ever heard omnipotence, but omnipotence sounds just as good, honestly. Where was I? A tingling, long-lost sense of pleasure often came across me during this journey. Some turn in the road, some new object suddenly perceived and recognized reminded me of days gone by, and were associated with the light-hearted gaiety of boyhood. The very winds whispered in soothing accents, and maternal nature bade me weep no more. Then again, the kindly influence ceased to act. I found myself fettered again to grief and indulging in all the misery of reflection. Then I spurred on my animal, striving not so to forget the world, my fears, and more than all myself. Or in a more desperate fashion I alighted and threw myself on the grass, weighed down by horror and despair. At length I arrived at the village of Chamanois. Exhaustion exceeded to the extreme fatigue both of body and of mind, which I had endured. For a short space of time I remained at the window, watching the pallid lightnings that played above Mount Blanc, and listened to the rushing of the Arve, which pursued its noisy way beneath. The same alluring sounds acted as a lullaby to my too keen sensations. When I placed my head upon my pillow, sleep crept over me. I felt it as it came and blessed the giver of oblivion. Did you get the Discord link, Jacoby? Did it whisper it to you? It should have whispered it to you. That is the end of chapter 9. We will start chapter 10 next week. We did a lot of reading tonight. Nope, it didn't whisper it to you? Gosh dang it. Okay. Hi, John John. Hi. Can you send me a private message on Twitch? And I will send it to you. I will send you the link. It didn't give me the link either. Okay. We've had to lock down the Discord for a little while because last week we had a lot of people either get hacked or bot accounts get into the server, and they were basically like posting links to things and like all of the channels. So we've basically made it so that the only way that you can get the link is to do that redeem, and then crazy in Discord right now. It is, yeah. So the only way to get the link to the Discord is to send me a private message on Twitch while I'm live. Once you redeem that, and then I will give you the link. If it's not giving it to you automatically, then I have to give it to you myself. So it's unfortunately becoming too common. It is, yeah. Unfortunately, right now that's the best way for us to give you the Discord, is to, you know, is to have you whisper me, and then I send you the link. So Marsh and Jacoby, if you guys want the link, go ahead and send me a message. There we go. So you click on my name, and then there should be a little thing that pops up so that, like, where it says whisper. When you click on my name, it'll you know, when you do that, you can send a whisper to the person. Thank you. Alright, there you go. And just a reminder to anyone that is here and has been for a while, I'm still doing mod applications, which means if you do get picked as someone who would like to be a moderator, this is something that you will have to do, especially on busy nights. Marsh, I see you. There you are. Thank you. Of course. Let's see. Fubuki, thank you for the care package. I think we already did one, but really quick. Thank you for the forehead kiss too. Jacoby, I gave you the link. Marcia gave you the link. Nivi, go ahead and send me a DM or a private message or whisper. Sorry, send me a whisper and I will send you the link. But yeah, we will end tonight's stream there. I know we're about 30 minutes, excuse me, to when we normally end, but because I don't want to do too many chapters in a single night. I think 4 chapters is a good amount, right? That's 4 whole chapters, right? Take care. Thank you. I'm waiting for Nivi to send me a whisper first. But while they do that, to anyone hanging out with us over on YouTube, thank you again so much for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed the reading, and I will see you, YouTube, next